Perth 2020. Society is in ruins, and a virus runs rampant among the world's humble citizens. They are lost. In these dark times, three wayward nerds cross paths at the House of India and realize they are destined to be friends. And so they did. This is their story. The story of The Side Quest.
Everybody, welcome to the Side Quest Podcast. My name is Luke.
I'm BJ.
I'm Matt.
How y'all been?
Pretty good.
We've
Both been sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thankfully have not gotten sick despite traveling.
I don't think I got you sick.
I don't think you did either because
I know.
we had some similar symptoms, but it was mostly just like the congestion.
Also, I feel like yours was 2 days and mine was like a week long.
Yeah, I think mine was
I'm
just like
still
a virus.
recovering from a cough. And Carmen didn't get sick.
Well, yours might have just been like some allergy type shit, or like, oh, it's a little cold and my body's getting used to it. Or,
I don't know, because like I had this one night where I was having like really bad body aches, and then I went to bed and I was like shivering and freezing, but I was also like sweating my balls off. And then
that's the worst. Like,
I couldn't sleep very well. And then the next day I had like lesser body aches, and then the next day after that it was just back to congestion, which is where I'm at now. So I think it's just like an allergy change of the weather thing, because it happened like that.
if y'all had to be sick, like which
No.
well, yeah, obviously.
I would choose
But like, which one would you rather have? Because I don't know why.
Painless diarrhea.
Painless diarrhea.
Painless diarrhea?
Yeah, where it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. It just see. Would that just be like the all liquid basically?
Yeah, I mean,
Sit down and just.
But there's nothing worse though than like waking up at 4 in the morning and
that's true.
I think
I need to
honestly,
get to the bathroom now.
I don't.
because usually it's a stomach ache that it's followed. Like you like get those.
That's
awful
true. You
stomach-
feel like
yeah.
and then that's what wakes you up, and then you go shit your brains out.
I was thinking about this the other day because you guys were talking
One
about being
bout
sick.
of diarrhea would be fine.
Just get out your system in one go.
One diarrhea, and then I'm out.
Stomach flus are pretty bad.
Yeah, I haven't had one of those in a while, thank God.
Like
Y'all had that food poisoning from the.
Didn't throw up from it.
Yeah.
But
No.
we were shitting.
I would have been okay. I'm fine with the shits if I wasn't throwing up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exponentially better than puking.
Well, like I don't know, man. This cough that I've had, like, by the time it's like at night, like my chest hurts from just this cough that shakes my lungs and my chest.
And then when you cough, it's like your abs contract too, so that's probably a part of it as well.
I honestly would rather like just have a day of like throwing up and then be better the next day over most other sicknesses, just because like everything else lingers. Where it's like, oh, I've had a cough, that shit's not going away for like weeks, and it's annoying.
Yeah, but if you have like if you're taking a day off to be sick, I'd much rather just be sick and be like, oh, my sinuses, than like.
yeah.
Yeah, sinus infection is probably the best thing to be off work for.
I think for me it's I don't
just
like
drinking
the
hot tea and
I
cough
guess.
syrup and
Being a
it's like,
cozy little boy.
yeah.
I think I just don't like the annoyance because like I don't like it when my nose like gets stopped up or like the congestion of like just
I'll
constantly
just
like
build a mountain of tissues. Just
I mean, I do that anyway, but with different.
oh my gosh.
No, I don't know. Because I feel like in my head it's like a weird thing where like throwing up sucks, but that good minute after you're done yakking, where your whole body just feels like at peace for a second. I'm like, I don't know, I can deal with that.
That is true. I do like the peace, the calm after the storm of throwing up.
It is a
like,
really good feeling of just like you've just awful feeling, and then the second you're done, you get this thing like
But you're
washing
not
your
done.
body.
Like if you
Well, no,
actually have like
you're
a
not done
like if
because
you
you're
actually
gonna throw up
have
later.
like a throwing up sickness.
Yeah, you're gonna be back to it in like 5 minutes, but then
Exactly.
But after you get that one up, you just lay down on the bathroom floor, and you close your eyes for those precious couple minutes, and then it's like, okay, time for round 2. But in between, then
it's like
nirvana.
it's like an abusive partner in a relationship.
I don't know, man. Because anytime I think of like throwing up a lot, I think of when the one time I just got way too high off of some dabs, and this is a long time ago. I had a buddy and he brought some like some gross wax over, and he was like, "Hey, I'm about to head out. Thanks for letting me chill here. You can have as much of it as you want before I go." And I was like, "Okay." And, you know, coughed up a lung. And then I was like, "Oh, man, like, all right, well, I'm kind of feeling not so great." And then I started going to the bathroom. I was in the bathroom, and I was like, I feel terrible. Started throwing up. And then I, like, got in my head that, like
you're gonna die.
Well, yeah, but it really transitioned to this thing where, like, it was this out-of-body experience where I was like,
I know exactly what you're
my
talking about.
conscience, like the whole thing, like, nobody I know exists. The reality that we're living is my consciousness. That everybody I know aren't real people. It's just my conscious is the creation of the world. And
Like you were that weird.
I am internally sick, and because me, who is the, like, engine running the universe,
The world is sick.
since I was like, I've ingested poison into my body, I am dying, my mind is dying, which means the universe is dying, and I just was throwing up, and I was like, the sickness, the world is ending because I'm sick, and I just was throwing up, and then I was like, I'm so hot. I took off all my clothes, and then Carmen shows up to the house, and they're like, "Where's Matt?" And they're like, "Oh, he's thrown up in the bathroom." And they're like, "Why?" And they're like, "He got a little too high." And then she comes and finds me after I had, like, dragged in my blanket, and I was curled up naked on the bathroom floor, like, like nothing is real. I'm dying.
Carmen shows up and you're like, "You're a figment of my imagination."
Yeah, it was terrible. It was so terrible.
If I wanted to, I could blink and you would go away.
Yeah. It messed me up.
He's like trying so hard not to blink. "I don't want you to leave, Carmen, please."
I have two specific scenarios where I've thrown up from smoking. And one of them was in those days where I was just skipping college and just going to my friend Tyler's house every day. I would go over there and we would make breakfast. He'd make a fuckload of breakfast. I don't know how he got so many eggs this year, but he would just make a fuckload of eggs, bacon, sausage, biscuits every single day, all day, every week. And
What, did he work?
no, he was doing the same thing I was. We were supposed to be going to the same college, and then like 2 months in, we were like, no. So I went over there one day, and there was this girl that I really liked. I didn't expect her to be there. She decided to skip that day and come hang out with us. So we ate an extra amount than usual. And then Tyler was like, "I don't have that much weed, so we're just going to be doing moles," which is like you take some tobacco and weed and you mix it. And he only had a grav,
Spliffs.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But he only had a grav, so, you know, that's a lot of concentrated smoke in there. And I hit that, and I immediately started just like, oh, no. And I went to his little sister's bathroom, which is connected to her room. It's all like pink and ponies and shit. And I'm like standing in this bathroom, and I'm like, I'm going to throw up. And then I look in the mirror, and it's one of those effects where it's like, you know when you see two mirrors facing each other and it's an infinite hallway?
Yeah.
It's like that, but there's just one mirror.
And you just went,
And a billion me's. And my lips were like blue, and I had like bags under my eyes, and I was like, I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna die. And then I get down on my knees and I throw up in the toilet. And then I throw up like 6 more times. And then they finally drag me out of his sister's room and back into his room, and then I threw up on his carpet, and the stain is still there to this day. And the other story, I was hanging out with Joey and Devaney and Joey's dad, and whenever I had weed, I would always bring Joey's dad a little joint because I knew he liked it. So one night we were drinking, smoking cigars, and then we decided to smoke weed. And I guess I drank too much or something, but I started getting the spins. This is the only time I've ever had the spins before. And it was like everything was just rotating. I was in like this office chair, it felt like, and people would not let me stop spinning. So I'm like sitting on the couch, and I'm like, I'm going to throw up, Joey. Joey, I'm going to throw up. And the thing about Devaney is every time I throw up, she completely abandons me because she hates the sound of throwing up. So Joey gives me a bucket. Devaney flees to another room. I throw up into this bucket, and Joey doesn't know who to be with in this moment. Joey's trying to be cognizant of us both, so he just sits in the hallway between the 2 rooms, just trying to take care of us both at the same time.
There's been the other 2 times. I mean, it's like Tyler had some weird Tennessee Delta 8 gummies, and there are 2 times I distinctly remember that like I was like super messed up. So one time I was like, dude, I'm like freaking out, and he's like, dude, just go take a shower. Went, took a shower. I was there for like 2 years, 100% 2 years. And then I was stuck too, and I couldn't get out of the shower, and I was like,
I'm just imagining you like touching the shower curtain, and it just like wiggles a little bit.
Yeah.
You're like it's off. I can't. What?
well, it was the glass.
Oh,
pane.
the glass.
I'm like, how do you? I was stuck.
It's the glass
to be
pane,
fair,
it's like
I've
he's
been in there completely sober and not been able to get out.
So I was like lost, and I came out, and Tyler was like, I was like, dude, like, whoa,
What year
like,
is it?
I was like, dang. I really was like, I was like, dude, I'm sorry I was in there for so long. Like, are you okay? And he's like, dude, that was 2 minutes.
You just lived a whole life.
Yeah. The
shower.
other time I was with Tyler and Carmen, and I was chill, and then we started watching the Jim Carrey movie
The
Truman.
Jim Carrey movie. Oh, Truman Show?
The Truman Show, and
Great
that
movie,
messed
but,
me
yeah.
up. I was like, nothing's real. I'm back to like this.
Back to the
yeah.
Everything is my perception.
Nothing's real, and it messed me up too, because it was right when he was starting like to notice stuff, and like I was like, oh my
Like,
god,
he walks
no,
when it
oh, like are these people around me? Like, and then Carmen turns around and be like, have some of these amazing cookies.
You're just
They're they're amazing. They only cost $2.99. Get them at your local supermarket. What are you doing?
that is a thing that I feel like people could write dissertations about, like being high and then watching something that's completely normal, and then something about that thing puts you off, and then you start distancing yourself from people.
My favorite though is just like nature shows though. That's like my favorite thing me and Kevin would get into, is like
That's a classic.
just watching nature shows. Alien stuff, I'm over it, man. I'm over all that
I'm over real aliens.
yeah.
The Sigourney Weaver aliens I'm all about, though.
Yeah.
I remember this one time I got super high. This was actually one of the first times I got high, and I was like, old coworker at Moe's made weed brownies, and I was like, yeah, I just said fuck it, because like I don't like smoking. You know, I've been told by a doctor when I was younger, yo, you got bad lungs, you don't ever want to smoke, and you're probably just trying to scare me off of smoking. But I was like, fuck it, I can do edibles. That seems fine. Not knowing that they're higher concentration, it's gonna last longer, all this crazy shit. And he said, hey man, you might want to like just have a little bit. My brain goes, okay, so just split it in half.
I mean, that's
Right,
a great rule.
Yeah. And so, but I think what he meant was like cut that shit into quarters and do that. I would just in half and ate it. I was like, all right, cool. Let's wait for it to set in. So I was playing like
This is a really good brownie.
Yeah.
I was playing
I think I'll have some more.
I was playing Yu-Gi
You had the
the
milk. How many did you eat?
whole
of them?
batch.
You need to go home.
I was at home and I was playing
Locks all the doors.
I was playing the Yu-Gi-Oh like tag team, whatever one was the most recent one on consoles. I was just playing that because I'm like, fuck it, and I'm going through it, and it didn't hit me until like I drew a card, and I couldn't fucking read the words on the card. Like I could not read the effect, and like, but I was looking at the card animation, and I was high enough that it felt like the card was moving, but like the words were still. And I'm like, but I couldn't read the words, and I'm
Sorry, I
like,
burped.
but for whatever reason, I dueled way better. Like I was just placing cards down, like not realizing, and then I won a duel, and I'm like, hell yeah.
You truly tapped into the heart
Yeah.
of the cards.
I was in, but then the second I was like, all right, I think I'm done for the night. I turned it off and like stood up, and it fucking hit me all at once. Where I was like, oh,
I mean, like
I am
edibles
fucked.
are really good if you know. Like, there's two issues. You have to hit a certain amount for it to push over to work. But a lot of the time, that threshold can be a lot for people, and so you just got to find. But what's great is it's
Not for me.
It's usually
Yeah, I'm the most bitch when it comes to like.
well, but once you, but
high.
like, yeah, but if you find that like number, like 3 or 5, then it's super repeatable and it's like super predictable, and
For me,
it's really safe that way.
For me right now, like I got some Delta 8 gummies relatively recently, and I was just like, I was like, I'm gonna be safe with this. So I cut the gummy into quarters and had like a little quarter of a gummy, and that fucked me up. Not bad. It was a good high, but it was enough that I was on TikTok and just like scrolling TikTok high as shit. And of course, that's the night that TikTok decided to recommend me just all 60 second like videos, and I'm like, when's the funny? When is this gonna get? And I just kept scrolling. I'm like, why are these so fucking long? Like I kept scrolling.
Realistically, it's just a guy like throwing a glass at the ground, and it just repeats 8 times. And it's like, why is it so long?
Yeah. I'm like, where's the punchline?
It's like a 2-second loop, and you're like, when is it gonna end?
Yeah, I'd probably. But I remember one time.
This guy did this a lot.
Well, I remember distinctly watching one video and trying to pay attention. I looked down at the bottom, and it has like a little scroll of like, oh, it's going. And I'm like, okay, look back up. And it felt like 5 minutes had gone by, and it's like, no, it's halfway done. Look back up. Look down again. I'm like, how long is this fucking video?
You really just watched it like 10 times.
Yeah.
Dude, we
I then went to YouTube and just was like, videos to watch while high. And there was just one video that was like just all Adult Swim commercials. And that was like the best thing to watch. I was like, whoa. And I was probably the most like calm zen I've ever been in my life.
They have a thing on Max now that's called just like Ambient Swim, and I think it's all just Adult Swim like stingers.
Oh,
that's actually cool.
We right when COVID, like the lockdown happened in 2019, it was that October. We were like,
much like this is October.
yes, and
Lockdown Part 2.
we bought some plane tickets to California for $49 each. It was incredible. So we were like, let's travel. And my mom was like, that's dumb, don't do it. But we're like, no, it'll be fine. So we had a friend that has a lake house, and we asked if we could come, and he's like, sure. So Kevin, Carmen, and I went up to the lake house, and in California, it's an awesome lake. And it was so much fun. But during that whole time, you know, we went to a dispensary and got a bunch of shit, and man, we did not stop drinking and getting high the whole time.
Certified boomer.
It was crazy because we would go to bed at like 2 a.m., wake up around 10, like make breakfast, start drinking, then we would go onto the lake where we would bring like a case of beer, and we would take edible right before, and the whole weekend that we got back, we were like, that was kind of crazy. I mean, it was an amazing time. It was so quiet, like we didn't really have internet, and we just brought DVDs. We saw the
I remember you telling me that's where you guys watched Ewok Adventures.
That's right. We bought it off of eBay, and I had never seen them, and we watched both of them while we were up there, and it was a great time. I would love to go back up there again. Apparently, because it was for a problem, because California is so dry, the lake, I think it's Lake Don Pedro, it just like you can see like how low it would get, and it was just getting like really sad how low. But my mom said this year it's like the water's really high, and we have like both my dad's kayaks are up there still, and he's got paddle boards and stuff like that, and it's a good time up there. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. We'll have to check it out someday.
Up there is also where I broke Carmen's foot. Have you ever heard that story?
I remember that.
I don't know if I have.
So we were up there with my family, and they have like one of those side-by-sides, and I was up there doing donuts with Carmen, and
Yep.
I flipped it, and it landed on Carmen's foot.
Oh, fuck.
And
Didn't she have to drive like 2 hours back home after that?
like 6.
Oh,
fuck.
wow.
And then had to fly back here to Tennessee. And at first I was like, I thought she just sprained it, and I was like, here, like with a sprain or like something like that, you want to get the blood flowing again. So I there's one like the first night I was like massaging it, and she's like crying in pain. I was
That's the second instance of one of you breaking something and you being like, I know exactly what to do, and then making it worse.
what was the other one?
The other one was when you thought you dislocated your shoulder and you were just slamming your body into the car.
Yeah, Yeah, where I thought I dislocated, and so I was trying to pop it back in when I just fractured my collarbone. Yeah, 100%. To be fair, there's been other times where I've been helpful in medical scenarios, but those are 2 times where I was very wrong. And she had like
Probably the worst
like
time
well,
to be
it's
wrong.
like, what are they called when it's a fracture that breaks into like a bunch of pieces?
Oh,
Is that, no, that's not hairline.
like
right?
a-
It's a
Spot.
Splintered, maybe.
Yeah, she like had like I think in total like 41 pieces of her foot.
Holy shit.
fuck.
Yeah, she had to have like pins, all of that. But here's a crazy thing. And this is, I mean, I'll say like it was kind of like a God thing. Like obviously it's super shitty what happened. I feel terrible. But she spent that whole time, she spent like 6 months with her living at her grandparents' place with Lance. And she'd never really hung out with her. I mean, she would see him often, but she spent 6 months out there. Then she moved up here, and then there were those terrible fires in California, and her grandma passed away in those fires. Like that would have been like a year after, and if she had not, she got to spend so much time with her grandma, and so it was like a crazy blessing. She got to spend so much time with her grandma right before she passed. So it was like just a really weird.
like a hindsight of like, look at this one good thing that came out of a
Like
terrible
to
situation.
Carmen,
Yeah.
it's like the one, like she was like, it was worth it to have all that
Yeah.
just because I got to spend every day with my grandma. Lance was with them, and they fell in love with Lance, and now her dad or her grandpa has like really bad like dementia. I mean, it's really bad. Like it's really sad because I mean he's like a cool cheery guy, and he like doesn't know like where Nashville or Tennessee, or doesn't know where she's been living, and she's like, oh, did you guys just move? And we'd be like, we've been here for like 5 years. And he's like, oh, okay. And like I have to reintroduce myself, and it's really bad. And so it's like all that, it's like, but Carmen got to spend 6 months just with them, and which is amazing.
That's how things are with my grandma right now. She's getting pretty bad, and every family holiday or like Thanksgiving or something that my sister can't make it to, my grandma will always come and sit down next to me, and we'll talk for a little while, and then she'll get this really confused look on her face, and she'll go, where's Brianna? And then I'm like, fuck, here we go. She's in Georgia. She lives there now.
That's always like, I thankfully haven't had to deal with it too much. I think my grandma had it, but like, she died like when I was younger, so but like it's one of those things where like it's awful, like, cuz like the fact of just them not remembering, and like,
Well, like physical stuff, because like I'm almost 30 now. I'm 29, and
God, you're old.
it's like physical. Like I can see like like even though it's like I'm still young, and I work in a physical job, and I can tell that I'm physically well off, but there's things like, oh shoot, like on Sunday we had 2 ricks of firewood delivered, which is so much, and then I loaded up, they just dumped it, so I had to carry it all and stack it. And then that was Sunday, and Monday I was like, my back's kind of sore. Like I didn't stretch, I didn't do anything, and I was like, I probably should have. And you're like, oh, I guess I'm getting older. And then I'm thinking, physical injuries are like one thing, because like older people have like hips replaced, knees replaced, but like the mental stuff is really sad and depressing. Like
it's because you can't,
Parkinson's,
like, you can't fix that.
Alzheimer's, like dementia. It's like all that stuff is so rough and depressing.
It's like with physical things, you can kind of like physical therapy exists. Like you can kind of work around those.
You can be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, like there's ways to work around that. That like, oh, we can make this painless. But then like the mental shit is like, shit. You just got to deal with it.
Well,
I
it's
guess.
interesting because physical. I mean, there's obviously this is not a blanket statement, but like physical injuries are very much self-affecting. Like, oh, I can't get around. A lot of mental stuff it can be. I feel like
everybody around you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, emotionally, and I mean, I would say, obviously physical stuff, people got to take care of you and other stuff, but it's really hard emotionally when to the people around you
with physical
mental
stuff. With the physical thing, like especially when like if you were in a wheelchair right now, there's the idea of like, oh, Matt's gonna get up in like a week or like 2 weeks, however long it would take. But then like if it's like, oh, slowly but surely we're just seeing in real time someone's mind deteriorate, and you're like, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to fix it. There's no way to make it better for them. There's like nothing.
Well, you would think powerless. That, but I actually found out about this new miracle drug.
That cures Alzheimer's.
Yeah, I hope you're not too attached to your eye color though.
No, I could use a little more blue. Make them baby blues.
Well, I will say though, there's like, I mean, modern medicine is pretty amazing. Like, there's always people doing these crazy, like, trials and like
running doom on a flock of crabs,
or like or just like experiments where people like, this actually really helps, like with this, and we're starting to be able to like pinpoint stuff, and which is good, but it won't help everybody yet,
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, like, there's still like sicknesses that like 40 years ago like killed lots of people.
Like now it's like they're nothing.
Like, I mean, like, or just like penicillin, which is like one of the greatest medical advances of its time. Like, is now, it's like a simple thing now that's like, yeah, penicillin is like really a simple thing, and it's like a cure-all for some things that used to be like killed millions of people. And so, hopefully maybe in the future. Would you grab me one?
Same.
Yeah, we'll move on away from depressing stuff.
Cheers to depression.
Yeah, pour one out for
the homies.
For the ones that can't remember.
That's
pouring out for those who can't remember.
what?
I think that's like, before we move to the more positive topic, that's like one of my biggest fears is having to like deal with dementia or deal with whatever, like legitimately. And it sucks because like the most scared I've been has been my dad, like after COVID, him asking me the same question 3 times within the span of an hour, that I'm literally like going, please no.
Yeah.
Well, my mom worries about it all the time, and she's like, I'm forgetting stuff. I'm like, no, you're not. You're just having.
Your mom has 8,000 things going on. That's why she's forgetting these.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I forgot to put the mugs away.
I'm worried that
They're like, did I tell you this in a conversation? I'm like, you're on the phone all the day. You're the executive director of like, you're now, a solo mom.
She's gonna executive produce the shit out of your ass.
Yeah. So it's like, she's really worried about it. I'm like, no, you just have a million things that you're dealing with.
I'm worried I'm not.
And I have ADHD. Like, there's, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm worried that if it starts happening to me, I'm not gonna realize, because like I'm already just like ADHD to the ass, where I'm like, wait, what? All the time. That like I start actually forgetting shit. People are gonna be like, it's just that ADD acting up. You'll be alright. And then like it hits me, we're like, oh shit.
I mean, there is a difference in being scatterbrained, because you can still come back and find that thought. But
at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's like it's later when I'm in the shower and just like scrubbing, I go, fuck.
That's been like one
go to
thing
bed, you're
that
almost
how
asleep. And then you jolt awake.
Remember that
like,
one
fuck.
embarrassing thing you said in 9th grade?
That's the worst to remember, because then you get the same amount of embarrassment and shame you felt then, but now it's like you now have your mind just gives, here's all the things you could have done that would have been infinitely better.
Do you guys ever have like dreams about like a person or situation that like really
changes your whole view on
well, like
person?
for me, I'll have dreams, and this is really weird and like also really personal, but like I have dreams about like I guess an ex-friend that I used to have, that I was like my best friend in high school, and then we had a big falling out, and like obviously there's stuff that I like I'm not blameless, but like there's like I have dreams about like seeing this guy, like I'm serious, like probably like 6 times a year, like every other month I'll have a dream that's really vivid and weird, where like I'll see him and I'll be like, hey man, like can we be like friends again, or like I'm so sorry, like really weird that my brain's still trying to like wants to deal with it and wants to move on from it, and it's like it's so weird when I have those dreams.
You didn't really
like
have a moment to move on, right? It just like, our friendship over, and then you just kind of had to leave, right? Is that how it kind of happened? Like you guys had a falling out, and then just that.
Yeah, I
was
mean,
it?
we were like roommates for a bit, and then like he also had like a, not to get too much into it.
Yeah, if you don't wanna.
But like I mean, even he would say like he had like an interesting family life that like affected a lot of stuff, and there was just a lot of stuff, and we were both like adolescent, you know, like we were both like
Teenage dirtbags.
yeah, teenage dirtbags, and
teenage.
I got 2 tickets to Iron Maiden, baby.
I like that we're seeing a
really
resurgence of
Thank you.
those, of like a lot of those songs that like, you know, you were young, you're like, oh, this is really cool. And you're like phase of like, oh, the old shit's kind of mid. Oh, it's cringe,
Dude.
And now you're old enough, and you're like, I was an idiot. This shit's,
I don't
this
know,
shit
man.
bangs.
Like, yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, and I'm like an old man. Like, I so see and understand like older people in ways of like I hate all the new shit. I
Yeah.
really do. Like, there's so much like old stuff that I'm like old, you know, everything from just old rock to then like the old like punk songs I used to listen to.
Dude, I've recently been like going through Black Flag's discography and just like listening to them, and I'm like, damn, this is really good. And I remember being in middle school, being like, this is fucking bad. It's just noise. This fucking sucks. And like now I'm like, nah, this shit is like,
Or like at a
This
lot
shit
of
is the
parties, I'll
reason.
just play like 2010s hits, and they're
Yeah.
all bangers.
it's one of those things where I wonder if it's like, because there's some stuff that is modern that I do like, but then there's a lot that I'm like, I don't get it, and I hate that I'm like, damn, am I really turning into that guy?
So, but I have weird dreams about a buddy. It's very bizarre.
One dream I've had that's been a recurring throughout my entire life, and I do not know why, but I vividly remember, like, as a kid, I had this dream where, like, it just started, and there was this giant, like, sewer, like you know, like the like sewer entrance in It, where they go and the one kid gets killed with the blood balloon or some shit. It's like that. It's like it's a giant thing in a mountain or in whatever. It's this giant sewer drain. I remember as a kid, I would walk through it, and then I come out the other side. It's this giant like recessed jungle gym playground thing that has like 17 floors, a living-in house, and all this stuff. And I just had 2 friends, a girl and a guy, and that was just my 2 friends that anytime I went to bed, it's like, oh, I dreamed of my friends again. And I remember like just not having that dream for years. And I was in middle school or like high school, and I had the dream again. I'm like, oh fuck. I go there, and there's my 2 friends, now again my age. And I remember waking up from this dream feeling sad because they both were like, you just left us. Like, we haven't seen you in like a decade. Where the fuck were you?
Yeah, you haven't returned.
Yeah, I was, and I'm
the
like,
dreamland.
I didn't. What? It's
It's like that Rick and
And
Morty.
their names
it's the
were
Rick and
Shark
Morty.
Boy and Lava Girl.
It's the Rick and Morty episode where Rick and Beth go back to that like land.
Froopy Land.
Yeah, Fruity Land. They're like, where have you been, Beth? It's been 40 years.
that one dream, just because I woke up feeling like disappointed in myself, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, it's weird because Carmen, I have dreams about like a lot of people from like middle
couldn't
school
tell
or
you their
high
names either.
school. No, I really have like I don't really have dreams about like anybody nowadays, but Carmen always talks about dreams with like me or
She had a really weird dream where I was like staying in your guys' room with you
yeah,
recently.
yeah.
And I was like talking to her, and I was like, look, Carmen, I'm about to take a shower. I don't want you to come in there while I'm in the shower. And like while I'm telling her this, I'm like undressing and like pulling my pants down. And
She'll have ones where like Kevin won't put his pants on. Like she's just worried about
her dreams are very pants focused.
She's very worried about people just taking
Exposing
their pants off.
themselves.
Yeah,
But so
dreams are weird. Like
they
honestly.
are weird. I usually forget mine, but then
I had one pretty recently about someone that I haven't talked to in a very long time, and I woke up and I was like, oh, fuck.
Have you ever like reached out to the person after a dream like that?
dude,
And you
every
just say,
time,
"Fuck it,"
every
and you, like,
time I want.
text?
I mean, even right now, thinking about, it, I'm like, I need to reach out to this person and just like,
I'll-
clear the water.
I-
but
I'll-
I'm
I'll
so
use-
scared. Like
I'll
I don't know
usually-
why.
I'll hit him with a Facebook like message or something. Just be like, hey man, you know, I just want to check in. Like I know it's been a while.
Like,
but,
I don't
you
know if we
praying
still
for
have
you or whatever.
each
Like,
other's numbers blocked. Like
yeah,
I don't know. Well, like
Those are the hard ones.
yeah. Like, because I'd love to just not have dreams about this anymore and not feel this.
I'd love to
weird-
have the closure. You know.
Yes, 100%. It's so weird.
Honestly,
I have a feeling that it would be kind of like that. Sorry, I still like Louis C.K. Sue me, but the episode of Louis where he's like watching comedy on TV. Like
It's
late
okay.
at
He's
night.
back now.
Is he?
Yeah, he did a special. I think,
Yeah, he did a
recently.
special.
I don't know who distributed it, but he did.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that.
It was pretty good.
But
I
there's
still
an
need to watch the Shane
episode
Gillis one.
of Louis where he's like up at 2 a.m. He's watching old comedy specials on TV, and Sarah Silverman calls him, and she's like, "Hey, are you watching the thing right now?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're about to come up. I remember this night." And she's like, "Oh my God, I was so young." And then this other guy comes up, and he's like, "Oh my God, I haven't talked to him in 20 years." He's like, I can't believe our friendship ended that way. I need to call him." And then he texts the guy, and he's like, "Come over." And then he goes over there, and he has this long monologue about how sorry he is. And he's like, I want us to get back to where we were. We were such good friends. And the guy's like, "You don't remember, but 10 years ago, you came over and did this exact same apology and then didn't talk to me for 10 years. And then he's like, and he's like, "Yeah, just fucking call me when you want to get a cup of coffee, man. Jesus Christ." And he just like leaves his house.
We find out Matt has actually apologized and has gone back.
Like every third month, he's
Well, like there's like
apologizing.
other stuff like the app Be Real. Like it'll be like suggested people like, "Oh, this person's in your contact. They have Be Real," and there's his profile picture, and I'm like,
You should add him, and then
That'd
the
be
next
so-
day have
The
it
next-
be
the
like
next
a
Be Real-
poster board that says "I'm sorry," and then your crying face.
One of his B reels, if they add video to it, it's just the TikTok of the Cyberpunk one, and he's crying in the shower, and he just adds somebody like me when I think of our old friendship, man.
well, here. Just a quick side note about Be Real. Like Be Real's whole thing was like, you take one photo a day at a random time, and you like want to take it right when you get that, so that it's real. And then they've done something where they're like, okay, well now if you take a photo on time, you get to post 2 more Be Reals during the day. I'm like, you're changing. You're being less real.
Yeah, they're trying to be more Instagram than real.
Yeah, I stopped using Be Real completely.
You get 1 real photo a day and 2 fake photos.
You get one that has to be real, and then 2 that are like doctored and in
2 manufactured look at my life photos.
Well, here, okay, I'm gonna get depressing one more time, but this is about I have dreams. This one, like, dreams that really messed me up recently, is I have dreams about my dad where like all of a sudden like I'm doing my own thing, living my life, and then like my dad shows up, and I'm like, but the worst part is though it's like I in the dream I know that he's dead. And I'm like, this isn't like, this is weird. Like, you died. How are you here? And then, like, there's one where, like, he shows up and my mom, and I'm like, I'm trying to explain to her, like, no, like, he's been dead. Like, this is weird. Like, this isn't real. And then she, like, started yelling at me, like, don't, like, he's here now. Like, don't say that. And then, like, it's happened multiple times where, like, and then I wake up and I'm like, fuck.
Maybe he's just checking in on you.
Every time I just like
that is the most like hearing that, like if
it seriously messes. I mean, but then it's like, it's also like bittersweet because it's like it's weird, like after like a loved one has been, like, you've lost a loved one for so long, like, not to be like, it's my dad, but like you like forget like the sound of his voice, or you starts to dissolve away, like, or the look of his face, or like
memory fades.
yeah. And but then it's like in these dreams it's like it's perfect, and it's like, and so that's really great, and so it does feel like I'm getting to see my dad, but then I'm like, I know this is like not real, and this is gonna be over soon. And
have any of y'all ever actually like lucid dreamed, where like you realize it was a dream and you kind of fuck around?
Kinda. Like, I had this one when I was a little bit younger, and the premise of the dream was like, okay, everything is pretty much normal, but people can fly, and I know that this is a dream, so I'm gonna try to fly, but I couldn't fly very well. So like I would go a couple feet up in the air, and then I would fall. I was like, God, I need to get better at flying before I fucking wake up. So
see, when I do flying ones, I can't, or like running ones, I hate those because I fly and I can't fly well. Like, I'm just falling. Or running ones, I don't know how to run.
if I'm
You're
ever
not Tom
running in a
Cruise in it.
dream,
You're just like,
If you hate the things that happen in the dream world and you wish you could stay awake, all the time with jitterless energy, you should try Dubby, one of our partners. If you use code Take It Sleazy at checkout, you'll get 10% off of your order. And there's delicious flavors like Beach and Peach, which is a mango peach green tea.
Push and Punch,
which
is a very fruity fruit punch.
fruit punch.
This isn't like a seltzer.
I got the dragon fruit one.
Dragon fruit lemonade.
Yeah,
they're
it's really
delicious.
good,
Jitterless energy. All the like ingredients are honestly pretty good, pretty healthy. Nothing too chemically crazy. But yeah, you know, if you want to avoid sleep and be jitterless, use code Take It Sleazy at the website dubby.gg.
You can also get some sick hats.
Yeah, sick merch. They got great mouse pads, shirts.
This has become my go-to hat, like honestly, like every day.
It's a good hat.
Yeah, it really is.
I want to wear mine more, but just because I work in places that there's like drywall dust everywhere, it's just
Gonna like ruin it. Yeah.
I just had to buy this one because no hat is good for my head, and this hat is fucking massive. And I just
Where did you
searched-
get it?
I just went on Amazon and searched like
massive,
Massive dome hat.
throbbing
massive
head
dome
hat.
Massive dome.
hat to fit my massive dome.
Hat to fit my mega mind.
I need to get some like good hats because like even now like this one fits pretty well, but I think it's because it's the Velcro
I
strap.
need to get
one.
some new beanies for this winter season. Oh, it's finally cooling down here.
Thank God.
Love it. I got my sweats on. BJ's got the I am Knuff sweater. I'm so excited. I can't wait for it to get even colder, and we get to get the blankets, some hot cocoa, maybe some like some Jack and apple cider, some like mixed drinks.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Maybe for the month of December, we should change this to blue.
I'll be super down with that.
To transition to a cooler line of talk, so I'm gonna read to you guys. Have you guys heard about the new Studio Ghibli movie?
I've
No.
heard that they're making one, but I
Yes.
don't know much about
So
it.
they finally put out a trailer, maybe like in the past month, and it's called The Boy and the Heron, and they just announced the English dub cast.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Are you
Get
ready
into
for
it.
this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who plays the boy?
So
Who plays the heron?
the first name, so it might be who plays the boy, but a reoccurring actor, Christian Bale.
Let's go.
dude.
Christian Bale at Studio Ghibli continue.
Bro, he apparently did you see the story of like how he got the Howls? He apparently was such a like massive fan of like I think Spirited Away, whichever one came before Howl's Moving Castle, and he just reached out to like whoever was doing. He's like, I want to be in the movie, and he was expecting like just some random background, like you'll get like 2 lines, whatever, and they got back to be like, yeah, you're the guy.
You're the heartthrob
Yeah,
of Studio
you
Ghibli.
are the reason this movie is gonna do well. Yeah, they
What a
do
king.
They do stellar dubs.
Second, Dave Bautista.
Yes.
Dave Bautista's the heron.
He's the hair. He's the
Gemma Chan, who I don't really know. Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
Damn.
Here's a crazy one.
Pedro Pascal.
We will be seeing her in the next couple
Oh.
of weeks. Karen Fukuhara,
Oh my God.
Mark Hamill, Robert Pattinson, and Florence Pugh.
Wow.
Dude, that's a fucking
it's such a
fucking
good
stack.
lineup. So I just saw that today.
So
I'm
we're
not-
seeing that, obviously.
yeah, I would love if we get any even if it's like one of the panels, be able to be like.
Okay,
She
like-
probably can't talk about it, but just be like,
Well,
I just
she-
want to
I mean, you
congratulate.
could ask about like the interview process. And stuff
Yeah, or
that.
like just congratulate her.
Just be like,
On,
yeah, this came out recently, but
I mean,
like,
that-
just ask her like how sick it is to be in a Ghibli movie.
we're in a very good position for multicon.
Yeah.
With that news, and Yakuza 8 for Danny Trejo. We got some questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
You guys, if you guys want to go to Nashville Multicon, it's October 27th through the 29th in Lebanon, Tennessee, and tickets for the whole weekend are only $65, which is a steal.
Especially for the lineup of guests they have.
Karen Fukuhara, Danny Trejo are the 2 main guests, and then they have
Quentin Flynn for the virgins out there.
that's right. We have a plethora of other
There's a lot
comic
of comic book artists and writers.
some WWE wrestlers. And yeah, it's gonna be amazing. So you'll see a video.
I see a couple, probably the vlog video as usual, and then the interviews that we are able to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Lee will be there as
Lee
well.
and Ezra, yeah, they're showing
The
up.
traveling DM and his minstrel madness.
That's right. So stoked about that. But yeah, I've been waiting to talk about it. I was glad that you guys hadn't seen that
Yeah, I
yet.
hadn't seen that at all. That's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's gonna be.
That's a stacked cast, bro.
Yeah.
Ghibli just have they put out a bad movie?
I mean, they put out stuff that's less exciting, but I don't
Have
consider
they
any
put
of
out,
their
yeah, I was
stuff
gonna say,
bad.
have they put out anything where you walked away and going, wasn't
Like
good?
that was a waste of my time.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I feel like I've enjoyed
Even,
every single.
There was a point in time where I wanted to watch everything, and I just got onto something else. But I watched Porco Rosso, which is arguably one of the most boring movies I've ever seen. But it's still like incredible because of the composition of shots and everything that they do with this animation. Like, it's still captivating no matter how.
Like I'll even say like Ponyo isn't my favorite,
Ponyo is beautiful though.
but it's beautiful. It's like it's really pretty.
Ponyo,
I mean, they're also
Ponyo,
really
Ponyo,
good,
I
like-
remember
Ponyo.
seeing every commercial for Ponyo.
Yeah, they were pushing that one.
Yeah,
Well, the other thing is they say that this is like his last.
I mean, yeah, he's like
They
what,
said that
70?
for the last 3.
Well, they said this is his second last. That was what I like heard like on the it's his second last film.
I wonder what the last would be.
I wonder how
'Cause they don't
Miyazaki
really do-
how old he is.
He's old as shit.
He's like 70, 80 something.
he's like Arasaka age.
And at this point, I mean, it obviously has like the Ghibli animation team, which are just like probably some of the best in the biz.
I mean,
But
even after
is
he
he
dies,
just like he's just like director and executive producer
Doesn't he
for
write
the
them?
most
and
part.
write?
Yeah, he mostly does like creative control stuff
Yeah.
from what I can tell. Like he'll be able to tell you what vibe you need to have and how something needs to feel and how to. I mean, I don't think he's done much animating in a while, but I know he knows how to direct people into animating something specific.
I mean, I feel I wonder if his son will be kind of the next. I doubt it because did you see that thing where like Miyazaki went to go see his son's movie, and then he walked out of the theater?
Oh, I did hear about
Yeah,
that.
because and
What
when
an
asked,
asshole.
when asked, he was like, "He's not ready. It's not up to par." And I was like, "Fucking whoa!"
I wish Junji Ito would adopt his son. Junji Ito would give him the direction that he needs and
Junji
the
Ito-
fatherly love.
Did you see what was it? Someone was talking to Junji Ito. He's like, "What's like your favorite musical artist?" He said the Beatles.
Yeah.
And then you look at all his art, and you're like, "This dude is like, he uses his art
Also,
to get all that
that's
dark
like-
shit out."
I know this is kind of controversial, but the Beatles, like if you really dig down to it, they weren't like they were revolutionary, but they're not great.
They're nothing special now.
Yeah,
I mean, I completely hold that
I mean,
opinion.
in the same time, like the 70s, early 70s, we had like the band Cream, which were amazing. I mean, you get Eric Clapton out of that, which was like one of the best like rock guitarists of our
And you
time.
get Layla out of him.
Yeah, well, yeah, one of the best rock guitarists of our time, and like Cream was amazing, but like everyone was cared about the Beatles.
I
during
think it's
that
because the
time.
Beatles was like the first like proper boy band. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, and
like
then
they were the heartthrobs. Look at like they were the biggest stars because they were all likable. They were all like young, attractive dudes for their time. That like they had the huge and then they were talented dudes, and so you get like people who were big music fans loved them. They had a huge female following. Like you had all this stuff where they were just like the first like boy band.
Yeah, the personality had a lot to do with it.
And it helps that, when they were like I said, they knew what they were doing. Like they played their instruments, they wrote their songs. Yeah, they probably had label help and other shit, but like, there wasn't a band that sounded like the Beatles either. Like you look at like all these boy bands nowadays and they're just a copy or a riff of another one. Beatles were like new, it was interesting. 4 dudes, all reasonably, attractive, like just younger guys that like more people could relate to. Yeah, it's probably.
I was
helped
talking to
in there.
Tyler around the time of Kevin's wedding. We were talking about who is it? It wasn't Paul McCartney. It was who married the weird Asian chick and that the one who sang like oh wow yo wow.
Wing.
I can't believe I'm blanking out on this. This is not making a good story. I'm
All
so
I
sorry.
can think of is that one lady from South Park that married Shitty Walk guy.
While you're looking that up, I wanna get.
Did you see what I just sent you?
Yeah.
Do you think that?
Yes.
Yes,
100%.
dude.
Absolutely.
Because the conversation, and it
Dude.
had dropped before, and I like stored it in a box of like. Remember, remember this.
Yeah.
Remember this.
I have tabs on my like on my I use Opera GX for my main thing on my phone, and like I have tabs open of just like, oh, this would be cool. So
Oh, Yoko Ono, who was John Lennon's wife, but like, you know, she was really weird, and there's like a video of her like singing, like he sings, and then it was like her, and you know, and she goes, and I was talking to her, it's like everyone knows that like John Lennon and Yoko Ono were like married and stuff, but they were only together for like a couple months. Like I think it was like six months. Yet like it wasn't even a big, but everyone thinks like, oh, that's who like he was always with, and that
Yeah, it's such a concentrated piece of like
yeah,
drama.
It was like, nope, that was only a little bit of it.
for me that for like growing up, for me that was Avril Lavigne and the lead singer of Sum 41, just because they were together when she put out the album with Girlfriend on it.
Dude,
and then
I
for
played
me-
that at Kevin's wedding, and it was like my favorite
Yeah,
song
dude.
to dance to.
That song's a banger. I don't care who you are. That song comes on, you're belting the lyrics because it's a fucking banger.
the relationship from that era that sticks out the most to me is what's her name, Hillary Duff and was it Travis Barker?
It was not Travis Barker. Travis Barker was with no. Who was Travis Barker with? I don't think he was with anybody big at the time. I know he had a wife. I know Pete Wentz dated Ashley Simpson. That was the big one for at least that. But I don't know who did Hillary Duff date.
It was another like band from the time that was huge, and then she had beef with like Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan because of that relationship, and it was all just fucked up.
I remember there was a girl, Chelsea something, who was a Disney Channel star, and she dated the
Jesse
lead singer.
Clinton,
She dated the lead singer of the
like
Somerset.
Chris Tucker. Sorry.
No, you're good. All those like early 2000s like rock bands who like were in like the tabloid news. It's so funny to look back in now
Yeah,
because it was all just like bullshit. Like, oh
maybe
no,
that's why Jesse McCartney really took off, or never really took off,
'Cause he wasn't
didn't-
in
he
the
wasn't in that
tabloids.
drama shit.
Yeah.
He was just singing "I Want Candy" and being Roxas.
Can you imagine? I want one of these days, like a small thing just in the Kingdom Hearts thing. It's like, oh yeah, Roxas can sing. Like it's just a thing
That should have been the rhythm game.
they put a Jesse McCartney song and it's like a Yakuza like karaoke thing where like Roxas has a mic and everything.
We're breaking.
Bro, I'm so hyped for that one because it's Judgment with each. Funnily enough, and they don't. I don't think they have to. I don't know if they re-recorded it, but they technically don't have to because it's Ichiban's voice actor is Nishiki's voice actor,
That's true.
so they can just take
They can
Judgment
have
and just
the
move
backup
it.
vocals and
Yeah.
move it there.
What do you think? I mean,
So good.
what in the games? So in the, I think you said 6 has a new protagonist.
7.
7 does, and that
7 and
is
Judgment have different
Ichiban.
protagonists.
Is there the karaoke game?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's been
okay.
a staple since 3. Excuse me, every game except Judgment has had it, I believe.
And have they always had Bakumitai?
No, that was 5.
Yeah,
And
5
0.
was introduced in
5 introduced Bakumitai, and
yeah,
then 0
and then they
took
put it in 0
And
because
and
not
then
Gaiden. What's the one? The
7.
samurai one.
Ishin.
Ishin.
Ishin. It was an Ishin.
I think that's the best version of Bakumitai.
The Ishin one?
Yeah, just because of the drums and the flute.
I think it's
Shit
good.
hits.
There's something though about getting Akiyama's version of Bakumitai.
Oh yeah, Akiyama should have been
Akiyama-
a singer from day one.
Yeah, dude.
He should have been the idol.
Yeah, no, Akiyama's version is fucking.
Speaking
Well,
of
is it
Yakuza,
in this? So the new one is Gaiden, right?
yeah, and there's actually just been some news about that.
Well, so
See-
but because in Gaiden,
They are bringing back Bakumitai in that.
They are okay.
well, because it might be the last appearance of, or second to last appearance
Kiryu.
of
Kiryu.
Kiryu.
And this is the game where Bakumitai makes the most sense.
Oh, dude, the picture that he's gonna be staring at is the one of Morning Glory.
I've heard that it's the
gonna-
one of him and Pocket Circuit Fighter again, which is bullshit.
Yeah,
What's Morning Glory?
the orphanage,
The orphanage that he runs with all his kids.
Oh,
But
which is the reason he's not.
the one that
Yeah.
got burned down.
well, they destroyed it with a bulldozer, and then he rebuilt it, and then he had to fake his death, so he can't be there anymore.
Yeah, the whole point of 6 was he faked his death to stop. Like, oh, if the dragon's gone, no one's gonna go after his family. No one's gonna he
Yeah.
finally end it. And then Gaiden.
So what's the news though that you were saying?
So they just announced the other day through Yang Ya's Twitter.
the English dub is not gonna be there day one.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to. It's going to be an update.
Well, did you see this? Apparently, I read into it more. It's because Gaiden. So the development started on 8 first, and then somewhere in 8, they then said, "Fuck it, we'll do Gaiden." And Gaiden was then started development, and then it moved releases where Gaiden was going to come out first, and then 8 was going to launch later.
So Gaiden is
Gaiden-
integral to the story.
Yes,
Of 8.
yeah. It seems that they might have had an
So
original idea was Gaiden.
How long after do you think we'll get the English
We don't
dub?
know, but we know that Yang Ai was still recording lines for the game during I think it was Anime Expo or whatever.
And Yang Yang is the
Kiryu.
and
Was for Kiryu.
will you guys? You'll just play it day
I'm
one.
playing it Japanese.
I think I'm
if
gonna.
the game has Kiryu in it, I'm playing in
I
Japanese.
think I'm gonna play Gaiden in Japanese. I'll probably check the dub here and there, but
Moshi Mosh.
I'm gonna play Gaiden in Japanese, and then I'm gonna I played 7 in English. I'm gonna play 8 in English.
Was 1 in English? No,
1 was
not
yes.
not 1. Sorry, 0.
No. The only dub that they had before Judgment, right?
Yeah, it was the PS2.
Was the PS2 version of 1, which is terrible. It's
Yeah, that's the one that
hilarious.
we watched that video of.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, that was the only dub they had, and then it was all
Oh,
Japanese.
the
until then.
mother
Kill this
Motherfucker.
arrogant motherfucker.
fucker.
Mark Hamill is Majima, which I still think I'm like, please. I know Matt
I-
Mercer's doing Majima. Oh,
Wait, Matt Mercer's doing Majima?
He was Majima in 7. He's probably gonna be Majima in 8. Yeah.
He's also
Hell
Vincent.
He's also
in
Vincent in Final Fantasy.
VII Rebirth.
Let's fucking go. He announced that because he was the panel lead, interviewing them.
Like, I
Then
know
he got
it's
to
hard
announce.
for other voice actors to just be like, well, since I'm
Yeah,
not in fucking
struggling
critical
voice
role,
actor. He's
so
just
I'm not-
sitting there starving and
but
looking at the TV.
I just can't help but just be happy for
Well, because Matt
every
Mercer.
single one of the cast members. I just today was watching episode 80 something of Mighty Nine, and it was their Halloween special, and all of them dressed up as people they voiced. So Matt Mercer started the intro to the episode as dressed up as McCree, and then
Did you see that one bit
who's
where Sam was trying to get him to say it's high noon?
yes,
Matt
yeah,
showed me that
yeah,
clip.
yeah, it's so
good.
He's like, I can't
where's
say
the
it.
sun in the sky?
Yeah, he's like, "Where's the sun?" He's like, "I'm not gonna say it."
I'm not gonna. and then Sam Riegel goes, "It's full sunlight." I'm not gonna say it.
Bro, Sam Riegel is the best of that. Him and Travis are my favorite people in that whole crew.
Well, and then Travis was dressed up as Two-Face, because
He
does
was Two-Face
in the animated series.
Was it animated or was it the Arkham series?
Animated.
Because animated was way early.
Well, that's what he said.
Okay.
That's what I mean. I just watched it this morning,
mean,
and
yeah,
then Laura Bailey
there's been a
was
lot of
dressed,
animated
was dressed up
Batmans.
with a costume that was sent to her from a contact from Microsoft as Kate Diaz from Gears, specifically the Gears 5 outfit.
Hey, the Gears 5 character design of her was fucking awesome.
Who's the other guy?
Taliesin.
Taliesin was dressed up as the Flash from Injustice 2.
Oh fuck! Right, he is the Flash.
Yeah,
Damn.
and then obviously Liam O'Brien was Gara.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
From the Hidden Sand Village. So edgy. Honestly, people say Sasuke's the edgiest.
Gara was the edgy one.
Yeah, Gara's the edgy one. Let's be real.
Because Gara's is the aggressive. My name is Gara. I'm from the Sand Village.
Say what you want, but Sasuke never wore eyeliner.
That's it's true. It's true fact.
Although Gara had to have something. He had no eyebrows, dog.
I
That's
think
true.
Sam showed up as not Ace Attorney, but some attorney from some game that he did. My favorite one so
There's
far.
2 options, and
One of them is
one of them is Ace Attorney, and the other is Judgment, and I'm trying to figure out who.
It would have been.
It would have been Ace Attorney. It would have been Ace then, I guess, right?
What color was the suit?
Blue.
Oh, is he Phoenix?
Was it blue? Would it be Phoenix Wright?
Oh, it might have been Phoenix, right?
Well, that's it. Phoenix Wright is Ace Attorney. Yeah. He was Edgeworth.
But
That'd be sick. I
But
would
you know,
love a
like
good
getting
Edward
Matt Mercer
costume.
as Ganon, he did a phenomenal
He was
job.
incredible as Ganon. Speaking of voice actors, I just want to shout out the new Mario voice cast. They replaced everybody.
I haven't seen the voice cast.
So they're relatively everyone is unknown, but everyone that got the game early is saying that they're all incredible and they're putting so much feeling into the characters. The same guy, he's a YouTuber, but he does Mario and Luigi, and everybody says he sounds indistinguishable from Charles Martinet's early stuff.
I think that's good. At the same time, I wonder if they're gonna let him do some other stuff instead of just, here's everything Martinet said, do that.
Yeah, I mean, apparently there's some stuff in Wonder, which is kind of the point of Wonder. They're trying to change it up a little bit,
Yeah.
add some new ideas.
Would that be Ace Attorney?
That is Phoenix Wright. But
The Ace Attorney.
the Ace Attorney. But
You love those games, right?
I do.
Okay.
They I'm very happy they announced that they're finally doing the second trilogy on all consoles that aren't just the 3DS. So after they do that, the only option they have left is to make a new goddamn game.
It's Capcom has them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's just Capcom doesn't see the money for it, because I know like a lot of Japanese companies are right now kind of focusing on it's got to be big budget AAA bullshit or else don't
Maybe,
fuck with it.
but also they keep selling the collections. So
I wonder if it's the same with like Mega Man, where they did all these collections and then test the water for 11, and then they put out 11.
That could
But then
be
we
it.
haven't seen a Mega Man game since.
I still need to get the Battle Network collection. Apparently
really
it was
want
like
those.
$8 at GameStop recently.
I really want those games because I remember playing. I think it was 2. That's the one I had, and I loved that game.
I won the first one in a race on the playground,
Nice.
and it was awesome.
Speaking of voice actors, and this probably ties into a little bit what we've been all doing, but I was playing Cyberpunk, started a fresh new game, which has been, I'm really glad I decided to do it. I was really worried. I was like, I looked at my other one, which it was like 90 hours of playtime, and I was
I'm
like,
getting close to that with this new file.
really? Dang, so I was at 90 hours, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll just do it. And so I'm doing the same thing where I haven't even met with Dexter Deshawn, and I'm just doing all the gigs I can. But there's 2 things I want to talk about. One is there's that gig where you show up and you pick a guy up who had a penis implant.
I love that one.
Yep.
Jesse
That
Cox.
is Jesse Cox.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't know that, but I was like listening. Even the picture, because then he calls you back. Like as you're escorting him, you can't really tell because he's like, "Oh, my penis." But he calls you back like
It's just
a couple
him.
days later.
Yeah.
It's just Jesse Cox with like cyberpunk
Alana
version.
Pierce is a nomad.
Oh,
somewhere in the
really?
game. Co Carnage is the guy who's like by Misty's esoteric or whatever, and he's like, "Do you not realize what you were like?" That's Co
Oh
Carnage.
yeah, the street yelling.
Yeah, that's Co Carnage.
There's a guy in there that I didn't realize.
Sphere Hunter
that-
is in there too.
That one dude with the long hair. That's the guy from John Wick.
Which long
Yeah,
hair?
yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Fuck off!
Idiot.
Fuck yourself, you asshole.
I started Phantom Liberty, everybody, and it starts off, and they put Johnny on mute. They literally say, "I'm putting Johnny on mute," and V starts seeing another character in his place. And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, they didn't want to pay Keanu Reeves to be in this DLC." But then after you get through like the tutorial of it, it's like it's you and Johnny talking about every decision you make.
That's cool.
So
That's what was because I remember them saying Johnny's in it, like it's Keanu Reeves back, and then like yeah, I was watching a stream where someone started, he goes, "Oh no, Johnny," and I'm like, "Oh, that sucks," but no, I'm glad that it's like no, he's still a part of this.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is we've talked about like before about how I love revenge movies and vengeance and like I'll
Would you
you
say
know
you love Revengeance?
I'll
rules of nature.
There's a TikTok clip.
yeah
Pulling it right there
yeah.
as the sword clash.
Like and we've talked like I've talked about like how in my head like I would do a lot of things to avenge ways that I've been wronged, brutal things. So there's a gig though, I don't know if you remember, this isn't in the start, where like some guy was like, hey, this dude had his boy killed on a BD,
Yep.
and you go to get the BD back, and you show up and you kill all these what is the
It's like Maelstrom guys.
yeah,
right?
Maelstrom. And you go and it's a father and son there, and they're like, "Oh, we just push the BDs, like that's it. We don't want other people scrolling it." And they're like, "Just take the BD and leave." And I was like,
You kill him.
"This
I
is
always cap 'em.
This is really dark." But I immediately was like, "You guys are monsters." And so I was, I like immediately was like, "I'm gonna kill the son." So this.
Doesn't he react?
Beautiful.
And he does.
Yeah.
And I was below. There's a whole voice lines that have been
Yeah.
recording like, "No, my boy.
Yeah.
What have you done?" And I was like, and immediately I was like, I can't hear this anymore. This is so traumatizing. And I just shot the dad. And I was like, I had to walk out and I was like, that was a lot more real than I expected this
Yeah,
to be.
no,
I thought it
that-
would be like a,
I cap them both, but I've never given them time to react. But like, yeah,
because I was like, I'm gonna
that's
make the in my
wild.
head I was just gonna be like, I'm just gonna cap the son and leave, and he was like screaming and crying, and I was like, I can't live with this. Boom, and killed the dad too. Like, join your son, you bitch.
Damn.
It was so real
Sir?
and like traumatizing, and I was like, oh my god.
There's a lot. It's a lot of the small things like that Cyberpunk does really well, because I think its main story doesn't have a lot of the choice and consequence that matter, at least. But then you get into like the side
Yeah,
quests.
you just
and
get like a
small
random
things-
character that has a ton of voice lines just if you decide to kill his son
it's
before
small,
the dad.
It's small
It's
things like that that
crazy.
makes the world feel less like a game and more real.
Yeah.
Because it's like you kill this dude's son. In other games, it'd be like, oh no, he aggroes to you.
Yeah.
Instead, he falls to
ah.
his knees and is like, my boy. He's like Cedric Diggory's dad. Be
Yeah.
like, my boy. Yeah.
I also they added in some text conversations with Pan Am.
Fuck yeah, they did.
Um,
Did you get the shower pic?
No, I'm sure I'm on my way to it though. But I've been doing Phantom Liberty stuff, and she was just like, "Hey, how are you doing? I've been thinking about you." And then I replied like, "I'm basically a Fed now. I'll tell you about it later."
Wait, have you full romanced her? Okay, good. Okay, because yeah, that was the thing, is you can talk to your romance companion and they'll actually have differing things, and it's like, yeah. So that you've now reached the end of what you can do with Pan Am for the DLC.
And now I'm just V standing on the bridge, staring up at this empty thing that I thought loved me.
Have you gotten to the point yet where there's apparently a point where you go to wait, and that's when V will start to hum and sing along to I Want to Stay at Your House.
In Phantom Liberty?
Yeah.
No, because I've been walking around. They added a bunch of other stuff besides just the area and the story. Like, you get a shitload. You get like 30 more gigs from Mr. Hands,
Because that's his area, right? Dogtown, yeah.
and then you
They got
also
a new voice actor and face capture model for Mr. Hands because of it. Because I think they couldn't get a hold of the last
Mr.
guy
Hands.
or whatever. But yeah, they have a new guy.
is wearing Michael Jackson gloves.
I was just thinking of like the hand in
Smash Bros.
Smash Bros.
And then there's El Capitan. He gives you a call and he's like, "Hey man, there's a lot of cars in Dogtown that you should steal for me." So they add in like a new gig type that covers the whole city, where you can go and he'll be like, "Oh, there's a car nearby. I want it. Get it." So you steal the car, however you do that, and then you have to get it to a specific point on the map, either within a time limit or while people are pursuing you, and you have to take them out while you're driving to get it there. And that's really worth doing because he gives you discounts on the Auto Trader. So
Dude, this
know who
this
runs the Auto
vaguely
Trader?
reminds me of a real
it's
story.
him, right?
No, Mama Wells.
Oh,
Yeah, apparently she's the one who runs the actual like vehicle stuff for apparently El Capitan.
damn.
This reminds me of a story or something that I was told today by somebody we all know. And I will tell you off pod that is really interesting. I
Okay.
need to say it to you guys so I also mentally remember to tell you guys after this is done. Really interesting. About running cars. So
Oh boy,
yeah. So
we'll cut it out.
yeah. I'll forget.
Yeah.
Dude, there's also something in this next episode
Gets
I'm
Jack
putting
fired
out
again.
needs to
Get cut.
yeah.
Wasn't the
Yeah.
yeah.
100%.
Yep. Yeah. Just go ahead and beep. Just beep that for me now. Just for that.
Okay, now I have to remember like an hour
Hour
and
and 9 minutes. You're
hour
fine.
and 9 minutes. Okay.
It'll be all right. I can do it. No. Dude, I honestly, the redemption Cyberpunk has had has been great.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it, and I'm glad that they're like committed to doing more games with it, because that would have been the worst thing, is to just have the one game and then just abandon the franchise.
Because there's so much promise here.
Yeah, and there's so much to work with. It's a whole fucking world, and I've been just listening to Cyberpunk lore stuff from like the tabletop game, and I've kind of been formulating like, you know, if I had a campaign, I could do this one thing for Matt that would get him really stoked. And I've been like writing these little scenarios in my
Really?
head. Yeah.
Goes to a bridge, looks up at a hologram.
It's different.
Cries.
It's different, but it's just as satisfactory. Even for your character, you would be happy.
Dude, we should hang out with Rafe more, and he wants to DM. Finally.
He told me about that when we were having a smoke at the party. He was like, yeah, you guys should come by and play some D&D. And I was like, try to play it cool. I was like, yeah, man, maybe.
A little crack in the voice.
Trying not to look at his eyes, but like also not trying to fist pump.
He turns around and like, he just turns around for a second and he's just like,
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I thought it broke for a second and I was like, oh no.
I just got to tighten this one up.
anything else you've been playing?
A lot of battle bit with this new 6 ping I have been wrecking servers. It's been incredible.
Yeah, you got the best internet on BattleBit, I bet.
It's incredible. I mean, seriously, I've been dropping like 60 bombs like every night. Not every game, but every night. Like 60 kills, like to like 25 deaths. It's I'm freaking cracked, dude.
I've been playing a lot of Mario Odyssey
Hell yeah.
because I can't remember what I finished, but I was like, I just need something to like cleanse my palate because everything that I play is depressing as fuck. And then I start playing Mario Odyssey, and it's like a little man in overalls just running around having fun, and I fuck with that. Mario slaps.
Dude,
It really does.
do you like
Give me a high
playing
number.
like COD Zombies?
I've never like owned a COD game that had zombies, but it looks like something I'd be interested in.
That might be fun, like a late night, us hanging out, 2 a.m. Like, because I have Black Ops 3, and I love... That was, like, probably one of the... After, like...
I think
That was when it came
Yeah.
back to being really good, and they had a really good story, and it was unique, too, because it was the one that's set into, like, the 1940s.
Black Ops 3 was? I thought Black Ops 3 was the action or like the cybernetic one, right? Because
It's Black Ops 4, then.
Black Ops 4 was it Cold War? You mean
No,
Black Ops 4 was the
I
Battle
think
Royale.
he's right because the
Oh, is he
Black Ops
right?
3 is the one
the
where
zombies were completely different.
Oh,
It's the one with the
zombies is in-
Cthulhu.
Okay, yeah,
It's
yeah.
the
yeah, no,
Cthulhu
you're right,
one
you're
is
right.
Black Ops 3, right?
Okay, no, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
'Cause,
that's the one that's set in the 1940s.
okay,
and each one's like the detective, the boxer, the
Okay,
harlot, and the
zombies
crooked,
in the 1940s.
the
Got it.
crooked
'Cause
cop.
I was thinking of the Black Ops campaign, and I'm like, isn't that about like fucking AI and like super soldiers and shit? Because everyone was trying to copy Titanfall at the time, and
now the king is coming back to take his fucking throne.
Dude,
God, dude.
it's like confirmed that's what's coming.
it has to be
The 27th.
bro. If it's not,
That's in 10 days,
bro,
dude.
if it's not Titanfall 3,
I will physically
fucked.
burn down
Respawn is like,
Respawn.
yeah,
I will
like,
burn. I'll burn their offices.
I'll
to
burn
the
their
ground.
office down after Jedi 3 comes out, because that's the last one in that trilogy. Then we're done. Then I'll burn it down.
I don't know, man. I forgot about Jedi Survivor, even though they
it
tried to
came out-
remind me of the name every 30 minutes in the game.
It came out at such a fucking awful time.
It did.
too.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but I've totally forgotten about it.
Yeah,
Like,
right
if it had
before-
come out 1 year earlier or 1 year, well, I mean, even if it came out 1 year later, it's gonna be surrounded by other amazing shit. So I don't know when you could put it to make it stand
Earlier
out.
would have been better.
I think so.
The thing is, it wasn't ready though, because like that's the
I
problem.
mean, sure, but earlier would have been better.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, it's just Tears of the Kingdom wiped at least a lot of people's minds, and then Baldur's Gate. No
Baldur's
matter,
Gate came out of nowhere and swept everybody's fucking ankles.
I mean, it's game of the year. It's
I fully agree.
yeah.
I'm gonna be.
Let's play. I was listening to an old podcast of ours, and we were just talking to, like Luke and I were talking, be like, BJ, I think you'd really like it if we all played. Once it becomes cross-platform.
I'm really the only holdout now because you guys play it. My sister fucking plays it, and the only games she ever plays are like Kirby and Five Nights at Freddy's. And then
Dog, my buddy Luis at work, He is the most like FPS, whatever, like that game. We got him to buy it. Me and my buddy Tanner. We're like, oh, he'll play with us maybe like a couple sessions and he'll dip out. He has put the most hours into this game out of everyone in our friend group for that like he has his own playthrough that he's on Act 3, and I'm like, I did not expect you to enjoy this game at all. Like he is not
especially
not RPG
if we
guy,
just like
none of that.
really tried to RP it too. Like if we were like, okay, we're all gonna be like the same class, like we're a group of stupid looking like dwarf barbarians, and we just RP our way as like tiny meatheads.
Tiny meat gang, brother.
We like something fun like that, which it could really be just such a good time.
I've been defaulting a lot. I feel like this game is turning into Skyrim for me, where I'll start it 17,000 times because I'll like make so many different characters, and I don't. It just depends on how far I get. But like I've honestly, I think my default now is orcs. I don't know why, but like I just like.
Oh, the
orcs.
half orcs.
Yeah, the half orcs. They're just kind of cool.
Well, they just got also such a good race trait which is when you go down to 0, then you go back up to 1 hit point. It's like such a great.
It really helps.
Yeah.
Especially because I fucked up and I let Karlach just burn that fucking house down, but I didn't leave in time, and so I fucking died. But I got up to the 1 health and I went, fuck, leave, go now, and just stayed back downing potions while she's ransacking this cabin.
Oh yeah, when you go back to
when you beat the paladins. And yeah, she's just like, I'm gonna burn this place. I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave. You have fun in there. But I've been playing. So I beat Yakuza 6 since we last recorded.
And it kind of left a sour taste in your mouth.
Fuck that game. Story wise, it's good. It's actually really good. I think the story is very emotional. It hits a lot of the good points until you get close to the end, and then I'm like, man, I fucking hate every villain in this fucking game. They're not good, except for Somiya. That's how you say his name. Yeah.
Who would you say
and,
is your?
The fucking the last, not the final boss fight, but the bald motherfucker who it's you and your boy has to fight through like the group of them, and it's him. He's pretty good. Iwami is the worst fucking villain in the whole series.
Who would you say your favorite villain is?
Kuze.
Ryuji. 100% Ryuji.
Which one's Ryuji in?
2.
Okay.
I would say Kuze, but Kuze is like less villain, more antagonist.
Yeah, Kuze's a good adversary.
Yeah.
But as far as villains go, it's got to be Ryuji.
Well, see, the thing is, I wouldn't even put Ryuji as the villain, because like he still was like honorable and kind of a good dude. Because like remember the fat motherfucker stole Haruka, and Ryuji's like, nah, we don't steal kids, dickhead, and like threw him out the fucking window after stabbing him through the chest.
Well, that's the thing. Ryuji wouldn't have been a villain if he was raised in a different environment.
Yeah.
And that's what I think makes him so compelling.
Well, I think realistically, villain-wise, I think Mine hits, because Mine is like all around like you kind of like out of all the villains, like Ryuji's is like, I want to be the best. All these other characters like have these very simple goals. Mine was just like, I don't want to ever like go back to what I was.
Speaking of which, I've been looking up a lot of translated RGG Online stuff for a thing, but Daigo is like.
Is this a secret project that you have?
Yeah, I've been writing it, doing research, all this.
And
stuff.
Luke knows,
You told me about it, yeah.
and I don't.
I'll tell you about it after. I just don't want them to know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think the last time he told me about it was because we were just like talking about Yakuza, and we're not gonna put that in the main group chat because you'll definitely won't text back then.
Yeah.
But what was I talking about?
The RGT Online stuff.
Oh yeah,
Translating.
Daigo was like racked with guilt over what happened to Mine because he's still not 100% sure. Like no one will give him a straight answer, and he's like, I don't know if Mine actually did betray me, and I don't think he would, but all the evidence points that he did, and I hope I hope that comes back.
I would love to see Mine again, because Mine is actually a really. Also, you got to give the boy props. That was the first dynamic intro of the series.
That's true.
What do you mean dynamic intro?
Where they do like they pause combat where they're about to hit each other, and then they do the person's name and their title.
It's like the main, because like in a lot of the games, it's like they'll get this cinematic thing where they're like have this clash, and right before they clash, it's always like it slows down and like the name of the person slams onto the screen.
Oh,
with, like,
dang.
effect.
That's
It's like
dope.
this is the guy. And yeah, Kuze's is one of the best ones in this fucking sewer.
Absolutely.
And then Shibusawa at the end. With two dragons.
Shibusawa, I think, is
That-
near the top of the list
If
on those.
I want the one in the Majima story against fucking whatever with the pistol.
Yeah.
That one hits, dude. It's so good, and the music is so good too.
The one where it starts off with Ichiban fighting Majima and Saejima, I think that one hits pretty well too.
The Kiryu one is really good. And that a lot of the ones in 7 are fucking great.
That's true. They knew what they were doing by that
Yeah.
point.
But Mine. I think Mine is my favorite, like legit villain, because like all of the villains in Zero were just higher tier Yakuza who wanted to be higher tier Yakuza. I feel like they're great villains or great adversaries to Kiryu, but like none of them were like legitimate, just like pieces of shit villain. I guess except Purple Suit one, because he just killed this woman right in cold blood to piss Kiryu off.
That's true, but they redeem him in the end.
Yeah, so like even then, I don't think any of them were just like ever like Dojima's the villain, because he's pitting his whole crew against each other for this one spot, and they're all like they're all willing to go super far for it.
Yeah, I really should have seen the opening to Yakuza 1 coming because of that game.
But yeah, no. So I beat 6. Thank God I never have to go back. I'm never replaying that game ever again.
My biggest hope for 6 is that they someday just drop a combat update to it.
That'd be the best, because even
What year did it come out?
2016?
Oh,
The
and
thing
it's
is,
just, it's just in a bad engine.
it's the first game in the new engine, so they had a lot to like deal with. They didn't really know what they were doing half the time.
Playing the most recent games, it is a good engine. They just didn't know what the fuck they were doing with it. then.
It doesn't help that these guys put a game out like every year, and so they had their work ethic, and like they're constant, like they have like multiple projects going on at once. So it's like you're moving from one game to the next, going on, and so like anything that was wrong with 6 got fixed in Kiwami 2, got fixed in Judgment, got fixed in whatever. So like by now they know what they're doing with this engine.
Dude, speaking of new engines, we talked about this last week, but we didn't record. But you'll never know because of the magic of what we upload. But is that Did you ever see the RoboCop Unreal 5 engine game that they've just released?
You showed me a little bit of it.
Okay.
And it's got me interested.
Yeah, it looks dope. Looks really dope.
I really want just some RoboCop mods for Cyberpunk.
Be so sick.
That
That
obviously
Adam Smasher comic thing. You sent me is so
my
good.
TikTok knows and that I've been talking about RoboCop and thinking about it. But I was like through it, like clips of the old RoboCop had come up, and I was like, dude, it is like it's really bad. Like they claymationed like a lot of the what are the metal gears essentially. It's like all claymation or like stop motion animation kind of stuff. It's really bad, but love RoboCop, the original. But
RoboCop, Terminator 2. These are my heroes now.
they're super good. Yeah, like I'm not running low, but I'm having to reach into like
the depths.
the
of
depths.
it. Yeah.
Because I mean we've gone through
You've gone through like all the
Fifth
classics.
Element, Alien, Terminator, RoboCop, Mad Max. We could watch. There's Mad Max. There's another one. There's still Aliens. Alien 3.
And then Resurrection.
Well, we're not gonna watch Resurrection unless it's like 2 in the morning.
No, you got
and we're
to
super
watch
drunk.
you got to watch Alien 3, then you got to watch Alien versus Predator, then you have to watch you have to
Oh
go through it
no!
all.
Actually, screw it. What am I talking about? We're gonna watch the next one. We're gonna watch is Prometheus. Then we're gonna watch Covenant
Okay.
because both of those are actually really good movies.
All right, BJ, in your own time then you got to watch all the AVP movies.
Well, to do that, I need to watch more Predator because I've only seen the first Predator.
That's really the one you need to see.
Okay.
Let's be honest here. Most of the Predator movies are like either reboots and or
Isn't the new
whatever.
one like really good though?
Prey?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
They were not good.
Damn.
That's the thing. Predator has not been good since its original like movie.
Well, maybe what was it? It was like a period piece, like Alien or
Prey was the
Predator.
one, yeah, that was like the past, and like the main character was like a native, like whatever girl, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was saying it was good that I saw.
Kevin said it was really bad, and he loves like those other ones. And but that's not to say like he would have been biased. He was like he's a fan of the IP. So like It wasn't like somebody who just jumped in and was like, "This was a really cool movie." It's like, no, like this is Kevin. Actually,
I just
likes,
thought it was boring.
Yeah.
Like even like a lot of the action scenes, I'm just like, all right. Like it
Well,
was
what
another
was
Predator
the one?
movie.
It might have been an AVP.
The one before that was Predator, a remake with
Yes.
like Key and Peele was in it, or one of them were.
Yeah,
like, so,
and there's that scene where they like get in the spaceship and they're like on top of the spaceship and it like takes off on its own, and then the shield comes and they're like trying to like oh no, it's taking off, and they're like, oh the shield's coming, like get under the shield, and one guy doesn't get under the shield, so it like chops off his legs and he's like falls off, and that's the only thing I really remember from that one.
What I really want to see is Alien versus Predator versus Terminator versus RoboCop.
Well, Terminator would win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it should be cool.
Dude, there's a fucking honestly, I saw a clip from one of the.
do you really think like because that's the thing, like Predators are meant to be like these like
I think RoboCop could take T-1000.
Maybe, but it's like
here's the thing. Also the Alien. What
hold on.
what Alien? Are we talking?
Alien would kill. The Terminator would own Alien.
Well, which
100%.
Because the alien can't do anything to him.
No.
yeah, where like for the other
Even
for
the
other-
acid, there's a dope scene. I will say there's a couple awesome parts, and they also it's like super fan servicey in the newer Terminators. But I saw a clip where like one of the newer, liquid, Terminators is chasing after somebody, and she's like is run away, and she shoots the ceiling, and there's a bunch of like acid, and it drips off, and it's starting to melt him, and he's like at the very end of the hallway, he's like almost out of the acid, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger like comes out of nowhere and like grabs him by the neck and holds him in the acid, and his fake flesh peels away, and he just holds him in the acid as the liquid alien. Oh, so dope.
I watched one where John Connor was the Terminator.
What?
Like the son.
Does he just not have like cybernetic?
No,
Cybernetics?
it's like I can't remember what the
The
fucking
Genesis?
plot was. Maybe, but it's like he's an adult now.
Dark Fate is the one where they brought the old actors back.
Dude, speaking of, did you see in the there's one where it goes back again, like in the past, and it shows a young Sarah Connor, and do you know who plays her?
Who?
Daenerys. And
wow.
I'll bring up the photo right now. She is such a good cast of Sarah Connor.
By the way, everybody, thank you for bringing that up. Holy shit, I wanted to talk about this on the podcast. We're in season 3 of Game of Thrones.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, this is BJ's
All right, as you're
first
talking
time
about
watching.
this, I'll look up.
It's BJ's first time watching Game of Thrones. Like,
I
officially.
have witnessed the best moment in television history, and nothing will ever compare. There is the whole arc with Theon Greyjoy. He fucks everybody for his family that didn't want him, and all these good people that took care of him and loved him. He decides to fuck them and take their land, and also pretend to kill their sons. And even the people that he was working for at the time, his own family, just don't give a fuck. They knock him out, burn Winterfell to the ground, essentially. And then Theon gets taken to this torture chamber. And he's being tortured. And he's on this, like, big iron cross thing. And they're, like, stretching his limbs apart. And at the end of that, there's this one guy that's left in the room. He comes and he takes the bag off his head. And he's like, your sister sent me. I'm going to save you. I can't come back for you until the night, but just stay strong. And he's like, no, don't leave me. Don't leave me. He's like, I have to.
Dude,
And
doesn't
then-
she look like a good Sarah Connor?
She really does. Wow. I like her a lot more as a brunette.
Yeah.
Damn, she's fine.
Did you see her in Solo?
So, oh yeah, she was in Solo.
Yeah.
Damn. She's very different with blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like very obviously fake blonde hair.
Yeah.
That's like not. Yeah.
Or it's not even blonde. It's that.
It's
like
pale
white.
yeah,
white,
it's that. It's like what Carmen has. It's that. What do they call it?
Platinum.
Platinum. That's right.
Platinum Games.
So yeah, go on. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, the guy does come back for him, breaks him out. They're riding through the woods. Well, no.
No, he tells Theon he has to go first. He's like, go ride, go away.
Yeah, Theon goes by himself, and then the guys from that keep come to capture him, and they like knock him off his horse. They're beating the shit out of him. They pull his pants down. They're gonna rape his little butt, and then
His little traitor butt.
yeah, his little white ghetto booty, and they just start getting hit by arrows, and they're like looking around in the woods, like, where the fuck is this guy? And it's that guy that told him he was coming back to save him. And he comes up and he's got the arrow at the guy's face. And he's like, "You little shit!" And then he just pops him. Arrow right through the eye, comes out the back of his head. It's brutal. He's
awesome.
He's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna take you to your sister." And Theon's like, "Yes, thank you, gods." And then he gets
The
him
old
up.
and the new.
Yeah, he gets him up. He gets him on the horse. They're riding. He's like, he's talking to Theon about all the choices he's made, and Theon's like, "Maybe I can grow from this. I can be better now if I can just get back to my sister."
Oh, and they're in the sewer right before they're getting into the castle, and he's like picking a lock.
Yeah.
And he's like, honestly, like the Starks were really good to me, but like I'm just like I just don't know what to do. Like I'm just a pussy. And like he says it. He says like the Starks were actually really good to me, and Robb treated me as a brother. And like even though every time he's like they didn't treat me like they treated me like I was a slave, and they're like how, and they're like they didn't have to say anything. I'm like, so you just imagined it.
Yeah,
That's essentially
the Starks don't have slaves. That's very clear to me after seeing what's happened to Osha.
yeah.
So all that shit's going down.
They're just like your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're riding. Theon is like, "I can grow from this. I'm gonna be better now." And then he's like, "All right."
Especially how sweet the Maester, the one.
Yeah,
He's
the
like,
one in Winterfell.
Because Theon tries to like kind of like not rape, but he tries to get freaky with Osha, and she's like, "You better." And then the Maester comes in and was like, "Theon, get out of here. I'm sorry he treated you like that, Osha." Like, and she's like, "It's okay. Like the guys back home would eat him alive."
Yeah. So the Starks are just fucking saints.
Yeah.
And then they finally get to this keep. They're like stumbling through it, and it's really fucking dark. And he's like, "Don't worry, your sister's just ahead." And then he's like stumbling through the darkness, and he's like, "Hello, sister." And then he lights
I
a
want to figure
torch.
you again.
He lights a torch and he holds it up, and he's just back in the same room with the Iron Cross, and it zooms in on the guy's face, and he's just like,
And it's like one of the top 5 hardest I've seen him laugh. It was.
I was dying. That shit was hilarious to me. And it felt so cathartic seeing all this shit happen to Theon after he's such a cunt.
Yeah, you're like, I can't believe you didn't get out of there. And I was like, he's not getting out of there. He's going right back to it. Dude. And then he's like, well, let's play a little game. Like, what family am I from and where are we? And then he's like, he guesses and he's like, I can't believe you're right. And
Yeah,
he's
on
like,
the third guess, he's like, "How did you know that?"
yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. You said the region, so I was just guessing places. And he's like, "Tell me how you knew that." And he's like stabbing him in the little finger again.
And then he's like, oh, yeah, I win, or you win if you can guess where, like, who am I and where we are. And
You win.
and I win when you tell me to cut off your finger.
And then he's like, "I'm just kidding. We're not anywhere near there."
Yeah, I lied.
And then he just digs in his finger with this fucking
And then
like
Theon's
pick.
like,
"Cut it off, please."
and then he just says in like a smirk little voice, I win.
It's delicious.
So you'll learn. I'll tell you right now. It's not a big spoiler. You'll learn it. But that is Balon, or not Balon. The Bolton, the bastard, Bolton bastard.
Bolton.
I
And
see.
boy,
Yeah.
I'll say this. I fucking hate him.
He is a horrible
Horrible.
person.
So far, he's okay in my book.
But he is a horrible person.
It like there is a certain point watching the show where I'm like, God, I hope you get fucking like run through with every sword imaginable. Like you're a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
so-
oh fuck, it's awful. Like
Yeah.
he's a terrible person.
Yeah, he's a terrible person.
But
I
brings
mean,
up,
everything I've told BJ is like, this person's great until they're not. Until you hate them.
the thing is, this guy, he's still a horrible person. We're just laughing because haha, Theon.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like, put anyone else in Theon's shoes and it's like,
yeah,
oh,
and then
he's
I'd be like,
terrible.
"Oh, I'm coming after this motherfucker."
Yeah, it's on
that's,
site.
That's the thing is, it's like it's the thing where like, Theon's getting what he
Well,
deserves.
it's interesting because this is also just a testament. I don't know if this is how it's written in the book or not, but the good writing of it, of where like he makes him like the Bolton bastard, like you're rooting for him because he's doing something that you want. He's taking it. He's bringing Theon pain, which is what you want. And so you like in the beginning you're like, I like this dude because he's torturing Theon, and then they switch it around. You're like, this dude is
fucked.
terrible.
Like it's a thing where like it's context where you're like, oh yeah, fuck Theon, but then you like just break down what he's doing to Theon, and you're like,
Oh yeah,
he-
it's not
he get-
just like
he
normal
gets a
torture.
yeah,
Yeah,
he gets
he's
a
fully
sick.
psychologically broken him at this
He
point.
gets a sick pleasure out of what he's doing to Theon.
You can
that-
see it on his face.
That like that you guarantee you he's not doing it because it's Theon. He's just like, oh, this will be fun. Like that's the thing is like anyone could have been in Theon's place. He's gonna do it. Like that's what like he's
Well, at the same time, it's like he also was told like by Rob like, don't kill Theon. I'm gonna chop off his head. Like,
yeah.
don't kill him. Like, but essentially that means you can do whatever you want. Just keep him alive.
Yeah, it's basically like I mean shit.
so
go
Rob sent him.
So remember, they are like, the Greyjoys took Winterfell, and Rob's like, that son of a bitch. And so
Yeah,
then,
and then-
he's
yeah.
like, he was gonna ride back, and then the Lord Bolton was like,
I can send
that's dumb. Let me send my son to
Okay.
go retake because you can't afford to have anyone leave the front lines because we already have a small army. And then Rob goes and kills Lord Karstark because,
In between not having a battle for 2 seasons, and
and then he loses half of his army, so he's only down to 10,000.
I'm gonna be honest. Rob like very quickly becomes like my least favorite of the Stark children.
100%.
Like, and it sucks because like he's pretty cool in the beginning.
Dude, even Sansa has a great.
Sansa has a great arc. Like
I mean, it's not as. I mean, it's good. It's a good arc.
I think Arya and Jon have.
I mean,
so far Arya
Arya-
feels like she's the main character in the world of Westeros because she's interacting with every
Yeah.
big character. She's on an actual journey.
there's the next Arya's next arc is phenomenal because she just met up with the Brotherhood and is with
She's there with the Hound.
the
right
Hound,
now.
who is like
Hound
one of
is-
my favorite
the Hound is
characters.
great.
I mean, I've said it a billion times now, but the Hound is the guts of this
Well,
universe.
it's also interesting because he's treated in universe. He's treated as badly, and people hate him as badly as we hate like
Theon,
and Joffrey. They like that's like Arya fucking hates his guts, but then like we're like, I love him. He's such a like
Well, we
he's
got to-
actually like a decent person.
We got to see
like,
that
and then
in-
there's that whole shit where like he has to defend himself, and he's like,
well, that's the thing.
I had
we-
to kill the butcher boy.
I mean,
People hate him for doing his duty.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
we-
finally he's like, fuck duty, fuck the king.
We saw that in a little bit when Sansa got separated in the riots and she was gonna get raped, and the Hound just comes in, murks
And every time he's like, little bird.
Oh my God, it's so good. I think like, yeah, Arya and Jon.
That
are my
would have been
favorite arcs.
Sansa's best choice, I think, if she had gone with the Hound that night, and she just keeps not going with these people that has
the
to save
arc
her.
works out. I will say there's a part of the Hound story that I don't like,
It's the season.
and I don't know if it's written in because I don't know if
I haven't gotten to the book.
I'll-
like the
I'll
book
t-
part
I'll-
yet.
well, I'll
Yeah.
tell you, but
Just text me real quick. 'Cause
Yeah.
I texted you another thing that I want your opinion on.
okay.
But the way I extrapolate that in my mind is like, if she left with the Hound would have been captured along with her. They probably would have gone easier on the Hound if she had been with him.
Yeah.
And then she would have been reunited with her sister, potentially trained with her sister to become
See,
a badass herself.
You think that, but I feel like I think she would have immediately been like, oh, she's from the King's Landing and stuff, and oh shit, bring her back. Like Hound probably would have gotten worse off by having her with him. Like,
That is
the thing,
true.
because like Cersei has like a vendetta, or Joffrey at least has like this vendetta against her. Because like I mean, case in
Cersei
point-
has a vendetta too. Cersei does not have virtually any like motivation for anything. She just hates bitches.
she's a hating ass bitch.
You can look
But
down.
but I think
The only thing Cersei wants is blood-related cock. and
Even
that
though I
is it.
do
yeah, I
like her,
I think it
I
works.
do, but I just like him more
Yeah, but I think it works for her character.
for
I think,
sure.
Like it because it was more of a thing. Yeah,
But at the end of the day, it didn't do anything. It just
No.
was like because well, yeah.
well, we can text by later or something.
Yeah,
He's not around.
So, but we're loving. I mean, you're off tomorrow.
Yeah,
We're gonna watch once I get home. I'll
I-
wake you up and we'll watch the hell out of.
it's been very
Game of
fun.
Thrones.
And I'll get to what I've been playing. Like I want to talk about one game at least in a second. But I've found myself really loving the novels, and then watching the show as I'm reading it. It is the most faithful adaptation to a source material I've ever seen in my life. With like, and they changed some things around because I think for like filming reasons they couldn't have an actual like 13-year-old Sansa. go through the shit they did on a television show. So they were like, let's not do that. But like, besides aging characters up and like moving some plot points around for better flow of the show, it's the fucking same.
Yeah.
Like, and it's awesome. Like it I think when you get to season 6 is when I'm going to be very interested to hear what you have to say, because I think season 6 is really good for being all original. And then 7, I was down on it, but I still had a lot of good moments in there. 8 is where I'm like,
I think I would be okay, and so would BJ. Stop watching after the big battle.
Bastards.
No.
Or for in season, like after in season 8, like the first like a few episodes of season 8.
Yeah.
I'd say
the battle where Arya does the dope
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I'd
that
say-
battle is a great place to end, because then the rest is like, because that adds a good like ending to a
I mean, it adds an
something.
end to like a really poignant arc, but I do think the thing with season 8 is it's very clear if they would have progressed that into multiple seasons, because
Yeah.
it feels like they tried to just throw like multiple story arcs in the span of like 4 episodes, and that's like full season story arcs, right? The biggest one, obviously I'm not gonna tell you, but like there's moments where you're like,
There is the big thing.
the biggest twist of the whole fucking show.
And BJ won't.
Well, no. And
Even though I rewatching it,
you see moments where like, oh. Well, I mean, the big twist. I think I read somewhere where the showrunners ask George R.R. Martin, is like, what is something you are planning for the books that we can have a bit more cohesion, and he told them about one of the characters, which was a big twist. And so that's the only thing from season 8, I think, that is like actively like, this is still book canon. But yeah,
There's one thing that I want to talk about before we get into this thing that you have.
Yep.
And talking about Game of Thrones reminded me. The new My Hero chapter dropped 2 days ago, I think.
whoa.
All the movies are canon now. It's not just the first one. So do with that what you will.
I'm so glad. I thought I just texted in the group chat, and I was like, oh, just fuck. But I texted you.
I
Okay.
almost did
Yeah,
too.
Holy shit.
About that shit earlier.
I check mine, and you would have seen what I just texted you would have been the biggest spoiler BJ could have had.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
He
No
won't see
way.
it coming until but then if he goes back to rewatch, it's not obvious, but it's like you can see
I
the seeds planting.
do love how much Bran plays a part. I like that he's not a throwaway character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say this.
There are a couple. I mean,
I like the thing is I like the characters of season 8. I just wish that the storylines like bullet point wise, the story of season 8's good. It's just it needed to be longer. You needed more than just one season to do all that. It would have been really cool to see that expounded upon through multiple seasons. Like if they, instead of doing 8 and they did 10 seasons like I think was originally planned, that would have been better.
I'm really excited though. I mean, like Arya's
storyline
is great, but
the,
this next shit,
the wedding.
the next shit with
There's a lot of talk about Joffrey's wedding right now.
Bro, season 4 about to go off.
yeah, there's my favorite though
If they
is,
kill the hot girl, I'll be mad.
is the shit is John.
Yeah, oh fuck yeah, dude.
Is
John
the
just breached the wall.
I know, but it's stuff that's
John-
leading up to it.
John in the next 2 seasons,
Is
and then in season 6 season 6 John is my favorite John. It's so good. Plus in season 6 you get the Battle of the Bastards, which is fucking awesome.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. You texted me and my sister texted me at the same time.
Oh.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I just told your sister to text you. Dude, check your message.
Dude,
No, dude, that part goes
Dude.
so hard.
God dang it.
It's so crazy.
Fun fact.
Because right now,
So-
like BJ's like, I don't really believe in any of the gods.
Well,
that
I
are-
was saying that, and then I saw a guy come back to life in front of my very eyes.
It's
So-
it's
no,
Well, the
Matt-
other thing
Matt,
though is
Matt.
like, yeah,
So the first part of your text is how the final book ends. The second part of your text is where season 6 took that. So that we don't know the outcome after that happens.
no way.
That's how it ends.
What?
Yeah, that's
That's
why.
that's like the canon.
Yeah.
Ends right there.
Ends there. We don't know where it goes after that because he hasn't written the next fucking book. That's why season 6 is all original content.
I can't. I can't.
We'll talk later. You and me specifically.
Let's stop. I want to because also, I know I've made some bomb ramen. I got some kimchi, some seaweed.
Okay, quick question. What the fuck is kimchi?
It's like pickled cabbage.
Okay, because I've
with,
seen
like-
it in like TikTok cooking videos, and I'm like, it looks good, but at the same time, it looks gross.
Do you like
I don't know
pickles?
What it is. Not really.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're fine, but I feel
If
like
you
they're-
throw it in the ramen, it's just like extra veggies in the ramen.
Okay.
And some spiciness. But I will move on to what you've been saying. But because I don't know a lot about this, and you know out of all of us the most, everyone's saying that the Shibuya JJK shit is going hard and everybody is obsessed with it. Is it going hard?
Going fucking bananas, dog.
Because people
It
saying
is
it's the
fucking wild.
it's the revival of the new gen anime, and that's a real hot take that JJK's Shibuya arc is the
thing
revival
is,
of new gen,
the
or
re-
is like the best of the new gen right now.
The reason is it's because that arc hit off, and is another reason why, like, so in modern shonen you have like My Hero, Black Clover, JJK, Chainsaw Man, kinda, but like, you know, those are like the big ones we talk about. But like Jujutsu Kaisen is the first one that came out, and instead of being like Black Clover, My Hero, and all these others that were just like, it's like modern Naruto or modern whatever, it went more in, it started off as like, oh, this is clearly the Bleach analog of it's a little darker, and then they just went further of going like, well, let's go darker, like bordering on it's for adults, of like how violent it can get and how like fucked up some of the storylines can
Because
be.
that's a hot take with how much I've loved the most recent season of My Hero, and how hard it goes and how good the animation is.
The Shibuya,
It's so hard to be like,
Don't they cut the cast like in half?
in Shibuya, yeah. No, there's a JJK has a huge. It's literally like Shibuya is like if during the Pain arc, Naruto, Sasuke, and like Shikamaru and like a couple adults survive, and everyone else is gone. That's Shibuya for Jujutsu Kaisen, where it's like, yeah, here's all your fan favorites, they're gone.
Damn.
And it's like, because it's the way it's written and the way it's gone, is it's like, because there's moments, also it puts Itadori, the main character, in the most trauma I've seen a protagonist that's not guts to go through.
who's that guy with the glasses?
Gojo?
Nanami? Wait, Nanami's the blonde one with the tie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, him, Nanami. He's one of the coolest fucking characters. in the
Yeah, I
show.
saw that one where like he
He's
like
ripped as shit.
yeah, where he
dude,
comes
in
in.
season 1, he's just a normal business dude, and then they animated him in this one where this dude has been going to the gym. Like, I'm talking, like, this man looks like he's gonna punch a hole through fucking.
He's no All
brick.
Might.
He's not All Might, but like,
God,
he's
I
snapping dudes in half.
I miss going through. I miss the just like All Might and fucking Endeavor, who's like, I miss the feelings and us talking about it and us watching it and me being like, this is the most amazing thing and this is the best characters I've ever seen in anime. Even though it's not true, but just being caught up in the feels, I miss it, man. Gosh, I love Endeavor.
You're gonna feel that again when they animate the stuff that has been happening in the manga. 'Cause it's fucking insane.
I love Endeavor. He is.
you can tell when Horikoshi stopped giving a fuck about what the fans wanted and just wrote what he wanted. Because
Yeah.
I feel like the most recent arcs have been that. 'Cause,
Yeah, I
like,
mean, the last 10 chapters has just been All Might fighting again with this Hercules armor that Melissa Shield from the first movie gave him, that is like a car that breaks apart and turns into this fucking Iron Man suit. And then
I'm
like,
also really curious as to what you said about that. It's confirmed in the chat in these chapters that all of the movies.
it's like the last panel of this most recent chapter is like the second movie happened.
That's crazy. Okay, can I make some guesses?
sure.
Go for it.
I'm not
You've
gonna
read
say
it?
anything. I've not read the most recent one, but I've seen the
Okay.
leaks and people freaking out about it.
Okay, does it have to do with the antagonist?
It has to do with the way they beat the antagonist.
Okay, well, that was my second question.
There you go.
I hate that.
Really?
You know how much I hated that ending.
I guess so.
That he gives he gives all for one to somebody in a battle,
No.
or one for all.
All I'll tell you is Bakugo wakes up and now they have twice the firepower.
But that means Deku's gonna lose it.
Apparently not. Deku's at 100% right now.
Welcome
And
to
he's-
anime logic. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't
Because
make sense.
that's the logical thing is if Bakugo has any power, it means unless it's like
I mean, they are past the singularity. It could have evolved.
That's the thing is it is an evolving quirk. Even though Deku is quirkless, something could have happened to
unless it's like because if you think of as they
I
like
will
the
swear-
analogy that they give is that it's like a fire within you, and unless when Deku gave Bakugo the fire, there's still some embers left.
I'll show you. I'll tell you exactly what they draw. There's basically no words, but they
we should. It's 2 hours.
All
shit.
for One shows up. All Might is about to suicide bomb him because his suit is fucked up. Deku is like, he's fighting Shigaraki, but he has to like break away to try to save All Might in the last second. And they hear this massive, like, blinding light and explosion. And Deku's like, what the fuck was that? And he looks up, and UA is like floating in the sky because they put it up there to protect it. And you see Bakugo standing on the edge. And then they do a zoom in shot on his face, and he's got the like broken irises like Deku has when he goes 100%. And then it shows a panel of All Might in a suit standing like on a road and looking down the road. And like you can see the spark inside of him is small, and then you see Deku holding like a fire and Bakugo holding a fire of the same size.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy.
To answer your question though, do I think Shibuya is going off? Yes.
Okay.
And I think it's worth it. The problem is Shibuya only goes hard because it ties into the first few arcs. Like it's one of those arcs where like because you
It's a culmination of everything you've seen.
because the way they do it is you have the first season of JJK, which is here's the school. It's like your typical shonen shit, and then the next arc is all right. So Gojo when he was a kid. And then they go through this arc, and it's a very short arc, but it's like really important to the lore because one of the characters in there shows up, does the job, and basically sets into motion everything that goes wrong with Jujutsu Kaisen's world, and then dips. And it then leads into Shibuya, which you have characters coming back, characters leaving, characters doing all this crazy shit. It's the best fights, at least until the Culling game, which is the next arc after that. And Shibuya ends with the main guy from the movie Yuta coming back into the main manga.
Okay.
And so it's like they literally culminate everything. And unlike most of these like manga, you know, it's like, oh well, if the character dies and they come back to life and all that stuff. We have not seen any single character return from the dead since Shibuya.
Are you gonna watch it now?
No.
All right, tell us about this cool video game.
Yeah, because I'm hungry and it's
Right.
almost 2 hours.
So you were talking
is
about
great,
you were
but-
talking about Baldur's Gate being a game of the year and stuff, and I'm like, I'm probably with you there. But I'm gonna be real with you. This game I've been playing has knocked most of these out. Where to me it goes Baldur's Gate, FF16, and now Lies of P.
oh shit!
That game fucking rips. Holy shit! I
I
first
thought you
started.
were gonna talk about the Fallen. What's the one that just came out? That's like the Dark Souls game.
Oh, actually, that
Lords
game
of the
sucks.
Fallen?
I hate it. That game sucks. I hate it.
That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, Lords of the Fallen. And the only reason I don't like that game is because I played Lies of P before it.
Okay.
If I would have played Lords of the Fallen first, I might have enjoyed it and like,
Dude,
oh, it's better.
the
Lies of
animations
P?
for those like support items you get are dope. Like they're all animated with like really, really cool things, like from the shield to like all the other like cool equipment you get. I've seen looks amazing.
Lies of P is the best Soulsborne game. Like I would arguably put it up there with like Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne.
Not as good as Elden Ring.
Like in that same vein, like Elden Ring, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, now Lies of P. Every other like Soulsborne is like it's fun, but it doesn't hit that height. Lies of P, and I'm not even that far in it, but I'm like, holy shit. I have not, like, since Elden Ring, and, like, again, since Elden Ring, I haven't enjoyed a Souls game like that. Then I jump into Lies of P, and it's Bloodborne 2. It's the vibe is this old Victorian kind of, like, fucked up thing. Every enemy is this creepy puppet. Nice. Love is love, y'all. It's this creepy, like, every villain is, like, the worst.
I saw it happen. I was like,
Every enemy you fight is terrifying because they're all puppets and they're all like moving so unnaturally, swinging the weapons there. Even the boss fights, like it's weird having to get used to, like, because usually in other Souls games, like, okay, you in your head you can kind of like figure out a movement because you know how things are supposed to move. These puppets don't move like people or living things. They move in a weird way, and you're like, fuck.
well, I saw some scary shit where like some guy was like saw like a a puppet that was like dead on the corner, like dead down. And he like slashed at it. He's like, okay, are you dead? Are you dead? Slashes it. Nothing happens. He's like, okay, good. And then he walks up to another one and he goes like,
yeah.
And he's like, ah, fuck.
Yeah, no, it borderline is a horror game. Like, it's legitimately terrifying. The feeling of this, like, I've never felt this much dread playing a Souls game where I'm like, fuck. Like, every time I turn a corner and I see a puppet just walking, I'm like, fuck, are you I don't know you, you're new. And you walk up and you're like, what is this one gonna do? And like, it's so good. Like, you remember playing Bloodborne and like just seeing every new enemy every step of the way and you're like, fuck, this game's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, but all of them are puppets and you're the most like pretty boy looking Pinocchio motherfucker ever.
You're Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, it's literally Timothy Chalamet as like it's the game's so fucking good. The music is great. The boss fights are amazing. Like, this year's been great for video games because like any other year this would have been my game of the year. Like, this is such a good
I feel
game.
like we've said that quite a few times this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me it's like, oh, Tears of the Kingdom.
Wait, you think Lies of P is game of the year?
If Baldur's Gate
Oh, okay.
hadn't come out, and if I didn't like Final Fantasy 16 as much as I did,
Okay.
this would have been it. Like, if this came out last year,
Dude,
I would have game of the year.
I don't know if I told you, or I did, but for the viewers,
Yeah.
when I saw Creation, Sid, the actor for Sid, is in that. He plays a general.
Oh yeah,
And he doesn't get a lot of screen. Well, I mean, he gets probably like 10 minutes of screen time.
That was another fun one. Whenever Sid shows up in Game of Thrones,
Yeah,
he didn't say a word yet, but I saw him and I turned right to Matt and I'm like,
It was the moment with Mirio and the cape where I was like, I looked at it, I was like, I know who that.
yeah,
I'm
like we
waiting.
look, and then like the second he speaks,
Speak.
I went like this to VJ and just.
Yeah, I did a full Wojak. I was like,
He's like, you're like, is that Sid? And I'm like, yes.
Other person in the creator that was amazing to see was my boy Sturgill Simpson, who's like, other than MF Doom, my second favorite artist of all time. Love Sturgill.
You
guys haven't seen
Sturgill have the heaven or
the
fire or
anime?
whatever? Yeah,
The anime visual album.
Yeah, on the Netflix.
Right? That it's the same studio that did one of the Visions, Star Wars Vision. Anyways, so it was a unique movie. If you could see it for cheap, go do it. It didn't blow me. I didn't like the story, but it was
visually stunning, and then
beautiful.
the
For
music.
being filmed on a $3,800 camera is like
yeah. I thought you were talking about the Sturgill Simpson thing.
no,
Okay, sorry.
the creator. Good episode.
Great episode.
hell
Great
yeah.
episode. Got lost in sauce. We started real depressing and
Worked up to hype.
worked up to the hype.
I'm very interested. Would you guys be down to do like a big like Game of Thrones spoiler cast, like once you're finished?
Like an end review thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, and get Million, who
That'd
like
be awesome.
literally we were talking about it at Kevin's party.
Yeah,
and
she was like, "Oh, that's season 3, episode 6."
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, no, I'd be super down to have Millie on to do like a Game of Thrones like end of the like finish the series because like I'm reading them, so I feel like I can catch up pretty fast. I'm already on book 2, season 2.
to be fair,
Shit.
we've also been chugging away
Yeah.
when we have the time.
Yeah, when we sit down and watch it, we watch a couple. in a
Oh,
row.
yeah.
I'd be down to
We like watch 4, which is like 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'd be down to do that because I think that'd be fun. And then we'd get another guest on, which we need to have another guest.
We've never had Millie, and I think
Yeah.
if we're gonna have Millie, that's gonna be the one.
I think Carmen would want to hang out too, and that would
Mm-hmm.
be fine. But
Yeah. I mean, she'll mostly just sit on your lap and interject when she feels necessary.
That's true.
Like in that
I did
one
like
little-
in the other episode where I was dealing with the internet people, and Carmen was like, "Can I have a Twisted Tea?" And I was like, "Yeah, just head in." And then you guys were like, hello? And she's like, Matt told me to come get a twisted tea. And it just made me really, because she's never been on camera before.
Yeah.
In here, so that was funny. So I liked that she did that. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. We're on YouTube, the SideQuest Productions, and our episodes are on video there, and also on Spotify, which is cool. Not a lot of people do that, and we're making TikToks, YouTube Shorts.
The big ups to everybody who watched the Paladin Dan's TikTok.
Yeah,
that
thank you.
That one did pretty well. Number
Did pretty well, and then also our Spotify. We come out. We announce when we do new episodes, and we have our sweet AI art for our thumbnails up there. We're gonna be posting stuff for Multicon. And yeah, go to Multicon and
come hang out with us and try the traveling DMs trials.
Yeah, all of our friends, and as always,
take it sleazy.